Good afternoon and welcome to the David Ross Sports Village here in the heart of Nottingham for this NFC1 South clash between the Nottingham Caesars and the Birmingham Bulls. Very welcome here to join us on what is a glorious afternoon in Nottingham. I'm Matt Walker and pleased to say joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Carl Walkinshaw. Good afternoon, Carl.
Good afternoon, Matt. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the game. Should be a good one here. We've got a NFC1 South clash between the Nottingham Caesars and the Birmingham Bulls, and proves that it's going to be an exciting one, Matt.
I think so. The Caesars riding high at the minute, having come into this one 2-0 after those back-to-back victories against the Sheffield Giants.
Yeah, and it was interesting, wasn't it? The two games, Nottingham Caesars really dominated at home in that first game against Sheffield, and then obviously having to play away at Sheffield in that second encounter. And it was a much tighter game, and you got the sense that Sheffield really closed the gap against the Nottingham Caesars on their home ground. But it will still put Nottingham Caesars at 2-0, 60 points for 14, just those 14 two touchdowns that the Sheffield Giants scored against them. But Birmingham Bulls also, they've won one, they've lost one, and they've tied one as well in their opening few games. And so I'm hoping it will be a competitive game.
Looking at that table that you've got there in front of you, Carl, the hope was that the Caesars would be topping the table and be in for a really exciting season, just the way that they've built this squad in the off-season. I mean, we spoke about it in the first stream briefly, but again, just a huge squad that the Caesars are running out with this year.
A huge roster and a lot of activity. The coaches have been really proactive about the recruitment of new players to this team. They've really used the university system really well to recruit players. You can see there on the screen now, you can see the NTU lids, you can see the University of Nottingham lids as well. So they've recruited as well from University of Loughborough. And so you've got that huge pool of players that have had coaching, over a number of years that they've been through the university system, and now they're coming together in Nottingham. We always hoped that Nottingham would become that hub of sport because you've got the infrastructure all around you. And it looks like Nottingham this year have really done the work that they need to do to build those relationships and open the doors for those players to come in.
You've also, as well as those university students that are coming in, you've got European experience in there with the likes of Jack Rice and Will Hobbs and, semi-professional, been all around, done it all at levels, and those guys are coming back for almost like swan songs of their careers.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is those, Will Hobbs has come out and he's really, you could see him in the sideline. I wasn't commentating on that first home game that Nottingham had, but you can see players like Will Hobbs, players like Jack Rice are really just motivating the rest of the team to step up in terms of the level that they want to play at. And of course they've got the experience. Will's, won national championships with Tamworth. He's been playing in Europe, as has Jack Rice, who played at Stirling and played at NTU, who played for GB. So you've got all of that experience that comes with those players that don't just have the on-field experience, but the off-field experience as well as like motivating a team.
Indeed they do, and I think almost like rather than winning the national title this year, I think the one overriding goal for the Caesars this year is making that jump to the Prem for next season.
Yeah, and it is a big jump. We've seen that year on year, that it is a jump that is difficult to make. But what they're doing is they're attracting players that have the experience so that when they get to that level, they're able to compete in that first season, just make sure they're staying up, and in that second season at the Premiership, making sure that they continue to build and be able to compete with the likes of Manchester, with the likes of Tamworth, and these bigger names in the sport. But that's the hope for Nottingham, but they've got a long way to go to get there, and the Birmingham Bulls are going to be no easy walkover.
Well, what a rivalry this is over the years. Back when I was playing in the 90s, the Caesars and the Bulls, or the Hoods and the Bulls back then, it was always a massive Midlands rivalry, and it's one of these almost like a cup game, with regardless of how these two squads are lining up and the rosters are lining up, there's always something a little bit extra and a bit more spicy to a Nottingham-Birmingham fixture in American football. And here in Nottingham at this fantastic facility at the David Ross Sports Village, and a great surface for football as well. The last two Bucks National Championship games have been held here between the UWE Bullets and Nottingham Gold. And being central in the country, Carl, we're very lucky to have this facility.
We are fortunate. It's beautiful here. You can see the 4G pitch. It looks great under the lights. It also looks great under the sun, doesn't it? And these two teams now coming to the centre of the field for the coin toss.
I must just say at this point, if you can hear a little bit of background noise and crowd-wise, our position for commentary today, there's a dodgeball competition going on here at the university as well, and it's a massive event. And so if you do hear any cheers, it's inconvenient times. It's not necessarily for the football. It could be that somebody's just got knocked out with a dodgeball to the head. But we will keep going as best we can here, and we've just seen the coin toss, so things just about to get ready. How do you expect this one going, Carl? Should it be a home victory for the Caesars?
Well, I think people will expect it to be a home victory for the Caesars, but we'll see what the Bulls bring. I haven't seen them play yet, and we don't know the rest of the competition. We know Sheffield and Nottingham and the way they match up, but we haven't seen Nottingham match up against the rest of the competition in this division. So that's what's interesting. It's an unknown, if you like. We know that Caesars are going to come out and their offence will come out on the field first today, so we'll see whether they can get a drive going with their quarterback, who I know well from NTU, Liam. And he's been playing ever so well, both in terms of plays that he's getting out to his receivers and running backs, but also when those plays break down, Liam's been showing a lot of talent when he's able to scramble, make yards and get the ball out.
Absolutely. The star of that first game here back in Nottingham was number 81, Josh Oluwatasin, who took that opening kickoff, if you remember, if you were with us then, took it back almost 85 yards to really put Sheffield under pressure, and they'll be hoping to do similar today as the Caesars get ready to attack from right to left as you look on the screen. Set up for a fantastic afternoon of football here. And Birmingham have brought a big travelling roster with them as well, not too far obviously from just down the M42, but they seem like they've got a sizable roster with them as well, Carl.
Yeah, and it's a good roster. If you look down, there's a number of players on there that have extensive experience, and the Bulls been round. You know, both of these organisations, over 40 years, they've been in existence. So lots of experience in those two big cities. And obviously the Bulls not having that, that huge experience and talent they had in the late 80s and early 90s. But they've been around for such a long time now that a lot of that experience still stays within that city.
So here we go then. We are just about ready for kickoff here in Nottingham. Back to return for the Caesars. Looks like we've got Ben Harrison back there, 87, I believe that is, just struggling to find that number. And alongside Chris Jepson, ball is up, game is underway. And before it's had a chance, that will go sailing through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback, and the Caesars will take over on their 20-yard line.
So it's going to be Liam McGovern coming out to lead the Nottingham Caesars. He's got a couple of great receivers. He's got Harrison, who's from NTU, and then Oluwatosin, who you just spoke about, Matt, who was the star of that first home game in Sheffield. And then he's got great running backs, an offensive line that's made up of experience from NTU and the University of Nottingham. And so let's see what he can do on this opening drive. Simpson in the backfield with him.
Indeed, Simpson in the backfield. Two receivers to either side on first down for McGovern. And on first down, there's a little jet sweep, little pitch. And it's that man we spoke about with loads of room, and he breaks two tackles. He's out close to the 40-yard line. A great pickup on first down for Nottingham. Oluwatasin with a good opening gambit.
Yeah, and when you have an athlete like Oluwatosin, you just get the ball in his hands as early as possible in the game, and you saw the penetration from the defensive line from Birmingham, but they're just not able to bring him down because of those quick feet. Finds the edge quickly, and it's already a first down. But we'll have a look. Yeah, there might be a flag on the play.
There it is, right in the middle, just in front of you. Can't see that on camera, but just in front of where McGovern was standing, which generally means in that vicinity it's going to be a hold. So probably why Oluwatosin has such an area to run into. So that'll march the Caesars back. In fact, looking at it, they've been marked back 5 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 15 then. Maybe an illegal procedure penalty there, rather than a hold, because that would be a 10-yard variety. So 1st and 15, McGovern. Same formation. Here comes Oluwatosin in motion again. This time a bit of a broken play. McGovern looked one way, looked to his right, and his running back Simpson went to the left. So again, Simpson didn't play halfback in the home opener a couple of weeks back. Maybe just a little bit of rust needs shaking off in these early moments.
Yeah, Liam does well when things break down. He doesn't panic there, just gets a couple of yards, goes to ground, and up comes second down. So he still got a couple of plays to pick up this first down.
So from your experience, obviously, like you say, knowing Liam from NTU, obviously defensive coordinator at NTU there, Carl, is your role. What qualities does Liam bring to a team?
He's got a great arm. He's smart. He's got good vision, and when the play breaks down, he knows how to use his feet.
Yeah, Simpson using his feet well as well, dancing to his left, then bounces back to the right-hand side, picks up maybe 6 or 7. It's going to be third and long. Nottingham, it's just outside their own 20-yard line. And that was some good vision there from Simpson in the backfield, the Loughborough student.
So it brings up a manageable third down, and we'll see whether Liam will go to the air for the first time in this opening series.
We noticed last time we were here, Ola Watterson was regularly one-on-one with his defender, and he caused all sorts of problems for the DB in that first Sheffield game here at home. Looks like he's in man coverage again, and he does go to the air, and Ola Watterson, or rather McGovern, looking that way, but that's a good defensive play, number 92 for the Bulls.
Yeah, it was a fantastic pressure just coming through. The offensive line just got caught. Number 92 for the Bulls. We'll get a name for you in a second. Just did a really nice job of bringing Liam down. So that's what you want from your defense on third down. They're playing with 6 defensive backs, just those 3 defensive linemen, but they do enough to get the pressure themselves and get the big sack on third down. Interesting, Matt.
3 and out. Opening Caesar's possession comes to nothing. Got some messages from the bench, and we spoke about Will Hobbs earlier on. I've just been told that Will Hobbs has now been downgraded to out for this game, so Will won't take any part. Josh Jackerman coming in as the punt is up and away. And it takes a Nottingham roll inside the 30-yard line down to the 25, where Birmingham will start their initial sequence this afternoon.
So Birmingham will be pleased with that. Danny Johns, it's a nice punt to switch field position because they were backed up a little bit, so Birmingham will take over, as you say, Matt, on their 23. But they'll be pleased with that 3 and out, and we'll see now the Birmingham offense for the first time.
So here we go then. See whether, indeed, last week in Sheffield, Nottingham spotted the Giants a 2-score lead.
I assume it's that and that, but I don't know where the rest of them is.
So here we go then, first down, Nottingham. Interesting number in there at quarterback, number 89 in at quarterback, and again, apologies, struggling to bring you a name from Birmingham for that at the moment. The ball is handed off, and it's a run to the left, just off centre that time. And number for you of the runner, number 37 on the carry, Charlesworth.
Mute them up, mute them up.
By Grant.
Big hit by number 97 there at UOM.
Yeah, great job on the defense there for Robertson to bring down the runner. Birmingham just trying to get this run game going early on in this series. But Andrew Wilkins there, you can see on number 22, he's back this week. You've got Isaac in there, number 54. They've got a lot of great linebackers, a lot of great defensive. Scott Bernard's in there at 57. They've got a lot of great linebackers with experience to handle this running game.
So third down it is. Number 38 there, playing middle linebacker. Kind of thinking that's stalwart Rob Hardwick, but obviously Rob retiring this year. And that's a good run, picking up a first down for the Bulls.
Nice block on the edge there to just push Wilkins, Andrew Wilkins, the defensive Nottingham player, just get him out of the way and then open up a running lane for that running back to come through. Nice play on third down, they move the sticks.
So the opening first down goes to the visiting side. Let's see if they can continue with this success. Yeah, starting D-line, Henry Scanlon, Jamie Gatley, Lambi Demetrio and Sammy Robertson, with linebackers Andrew Wilkins, Isaac Sarr and Matt Barnard. And DBs, Paddy Fisher, Mickey Fisher and Cam Murray, with Jackaman coming in replacing Will Hobbs.
It's like old school offense. This Birmingham Bulls are running that I formation, just trying to hit the B gap, and it's been successful so far. Defensive lineman 95 having to make the tackle on that one. I think it was Robertson on the tackle for Nottingham. Sorry, it was Jamie Gatley that made the tackle on that.
So still then Birmingham edging their way towards the halfway line. 90-yard field here in Nottingham, so that white line you can see in the centre is the 45-yard line, but that is midfield. So let's see whether or not they can convert once again. Ball handed off to the other side this time, but good lateral pursuit, and Wilkins amongst others with number 93 Henry Scanlon on the stop.
Sammy Robertson did a really nice job of taking on the lead block from the fullback, and then the Caesars can rally to that one, but a good job Sammy Robertson, the first man there.
Producers, now look at this. We got Caesars, UON, Trent, and Loughborough along that defensive front.
Just give you a shot of the end zone view here.
So here we go then. Play stopped before it has the opportunity to get going. That'll be some sort of illegal procedure against the Bulls, I would have thought. We can see our signal from our official. Indeed, the Bulls are marching back, so that will be an offensive penalty. A little bit stop-starty from both teams at the minute, not quite finding their groove yet. Both defenses dominating, although we have seen some life from that Bulls rushing attack.
Yeah, certainly first, second down, the Bulls are just trying to establish that run, and then only passing really when they need to. High formation again from the Bulls with a tight end in.
Yeah, that old school, like you say. Going to the air this time for the first time. He tries to roll to his left and he's in trouble and comes back to the middle and keeps on his feet, but he is corralled by that defensive front of Nottingham.
That's Isaac, the NTU linebacker, Isaac Sarr coming in. They sent a blitz and forced the quarterback to try and make some yards with his feet, and Isaac right there to bring him down just for a short game, but it's going to bring up fourth down, so the Bulls are going to have to punt.
If you're currently watching it all on the YouTube stream, we're struggling with the player who's in for quarterback, number 89 for the Bulls at the moment. Our roster doesn't detail him, that we've been provided by the West Midlands outfit, so please feel free to drop his name for us in the comments, because we'd love to be able to give him a shout out and obviously comment on how he's performing. But what we do know is number 3 in there now to punt. It's a good high spiralling kick. Forces the returner back and takes it nicely at his 21-yard line. Makes the first man miss. Tries to bounce out to the edge. He's still looking for the corner. Manages to hang on to the ball. Does Mickey Fisher. And then there's a little bit of afters as well, as Mickey Fisher is not allowed to get back up. But it's going to be Nottingham ball on their 40-yard line for their second possession of the afternoon.
Mickey Fisher, University of Nottingham talent, plays defensive back there on the punt return. Jude does a nice job there. Shows a good speed and picks up some good yards. So this will be better field position for Nottingham at their 39-yard line, a 50-yard field here at David Ross Stadium.
You're right. You're spot on. That's not.
So here we go, first down then, McGovern again. Hands the ball off on first down. Harry Johnson with the carry on first down, tries to wiggle his way to the left of the offensive line. Nothing doing there and loses a yard on first down.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job just with that three-man defensive line of Birmingham at the moment, just making sure that they're playing all those gaps really well. Playing a sort of stacked defence, 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers in behind, and then 5 defensive backs.
Second down and 11. Oluwatosin all on his own at the top of your screen there. Now joined in the slot. Looks for a little swing pass out to Marshall again, and Marshall is nothing doing there. Loss, big loss, and pretty much telegraphed that time from McGovern. Obviously a quick hitting play, trying to get something going early doors, almost extending that running game out to the short passing game, but good lateral pursuit again by the Bulls.
Well, it was good pressure as well. Number 42, the nose tackle, made a really nice move on the centre and was in Liam's face before he had a chance. They just had to get that ball out a little bit early before the blockers could develop up front. Birmingham Bulls defence playing well in these early exchanges.
So Nottingham being made to feel very uncomfortable at the moment. 3rd and long. It's looking like at least 17 yards from where those chains are at the top of the screen. McGovern going to have to go to the air this time, and he's looking for his man up top. And he has got a step as Oluwatosin, and what a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch down to the 20-yard line, still on his feet at the 10. And that is what that man can do. Brings a spark and a moment of inspiration, and it's going to be almost 1st and goal, Nottingham.
He's such a great athlete. There was double coverage on him. They're playing with 6 defensive backs, and Oluwatosin just such great hands. Liam even puts it in his vicinity, is able to twist and turn his body and make the catch.
No huddle then. McGovern to the ground on 1st down. Chopping and changing his feet, trying to look for a gap, and the ball comes out, but surely forward momentum has been stopped, and the referee from the far sideline, the official comes in, indicating that that is the case.
Bulls again, ball hawking defence, trying to rip that ball out, get the turnover that they need. So far that running game has struggled.
McGovern again, no huddle, straight back to the line of scrimmage. The players looking to the sideline for the call. If you could see another angle, you'd see Coach Lawless out there with no end of cards and paraphernalia, trying to get his message into his troops while confusing the defence. It's going to be tough to run on this defence at the minute as well, particularly, but they do try again. Little counter play to the left. Drops outside, he's got daylight, and he goes into the end zone, almost untouched, no flags.
That's Wellington Teferi with the opening score for Nottingham, and the Bulls nearly had him in the backfield, but he just used those quick feet to jump cut out to his left hand side and into the end zone. 6-0 to Nottingham.
Just when you think that Nottingham are being stifled, that one big Oluwatosin play opens things up, and Nottingham are right where they want to be.
Defence will be disappointed there, but it was that big play that put them in such great field position, having that 1st and goal. They've defended the run well, but lets them down on that play. Wellington Teferi with the touchdown.
Josh changed the end zone for this one.
Josh Jackerman on to attempt the extra point there, number 38. Dan Johnson on the hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. So 7-0 Nottingham midway through this first period.
Sorry for the late ones.
That gives us the opportunity to mention a couple of our sponsors today. The Pizza Box is Nottingham's finest wood-fired pizza. Event catering tailored to your needs, weddings, birthday parties, hen and stag do's, festivals and any other celebrations. Find them on Instagram, Facebook and at thepizzabox.uk. And also we are pleased to be sponsored as well by the United Kingdom Drone Service. Based in the East Midlands, they are fully qualified in RTK Mapping, confined space surveys, roof surveys and industrial inspections. Whether it's residential, commercial or industrial, contact United Kingdom Drone Services for all your surveying needs. Email will be cameron@ukdroneservice.co.uk. And just while we see the Caesars lined up to kick this next kickoff off, UK American football scene Britball for All looks to bring everything from the latest news, fixtures, latest scores, results and pictures from the domestic American Football League, covering adult, senior, women's, youth and the junior disciplines. They have all your Britball needs covered on Facebook as Johns slices the ball a little bit off to the right hand side, but it stays inbounds and then is run out of bounds. One criticism I've always had about this is the markings. The red on the green is difficult to see. Is it difficult pitch side as well for them?
It's less difficult than it is from up here, but when you get close to that sideline, it's difficult to know whether you're inbounds, out of bounds, because you're moving at high speed, and there's a number of different lines there. You can see red lines, white lines, so it does cause problems, yes, on the sideline. And
you could see we had the end zone angle there on that kickoff, and you could see the returner didn't really know where he was and looked to try and take the ball back and ran out of bounds inside his own 10-yard line. So
it's definitely an advantage if you play on the surface regularly, as Nottingham will this season, although they're still new to it as well. It's only the second game that they've been playing on this surface.
Wednesdays here.
Yeah, they do train here as well, Carl, on a Wednesday. But anyway,
there is that.
But here we go then. Second position for the Bulls. Bit of a sucker punch there for them. They were in the ascendancy, and that one big play has put them behind on the scoreboard. Great inside pressure there from 97 for Nottingham, Sammy Robertson. And maybe that was the spark that Nottingham needed just to try and settle the nerves a little bit. Sorry, Carl, in every game they take on this year, they are going to go in with that favourite tag, aren't they?
Well, let's see how the season develops, because I think early on, people were watching all the recruitment that Nottingham were doing, but you've still got to come together as a team. You've got to have that coherence and that chemistry between teammates, and it's still a team that's finding its way.
I suppose then, the longer you stay undefeated though, you've got that target on your back, ball handed off again on second down, straight over the middle, a little dive play there. Like you say, very traditional with that I formation, full back in there as well, lead blocking. But again, good from the Nottingham defensive line. Wilkins up there from his linebacker position as well to make the hit.
Yeah, Isaac Sarr as well. Thanks for those of you that are messaging in, letting us know the Bulls roster. We don't have a Bulls roster today, so we're going to do the best from the comments that we see. Paul Carter messaged in saying quarterback is number 89, Ryan Lloyd. So we'll go with that for now. Paul, thank you very much for messaging. And if there are other Bulls fans out there, let us know some of those numbers and we'll give them a shout.
You'll see some Caesar alumni on there as well. Ashley Mashley's Bash is on there. Andy Cusworth. Amongst the Tom Cowlin, one of my old junior players from way back in the day. Great to know that these guys are on board and enjoying this stream with us. Third down upcoming. Lloyd pitches this time off to the right hand side, and running back manages to dance out of 2 tackles. It's not going to be enough for a first down, just going to be shy by about 6 yards or so, to be fair. So good defensive stand, going to force Birmingham to punt.
That good backside blitz coming there from Andrew Wilkins, who just couldn't get hold of his man in the backfield. Mickey Fisher eventually having to make the tackle. Now, we say that I formation is old school. You do still see it used in the NFL and you see it used in college games. It's effective because you have that fullback just stood in front of you and he's going to take on, that initial blocker in the gap, tackler in the gap rather, and it just gives that running back, an opportunity to jump cut either way depending on how that block goes. So the Bulls having to punt now from pretty poor field position.
Yeah, should set Nottingham up nicely. See if Nottingham bring any pressure. Lined up heavy on the left-hand side of the line. Low snap and the ball is just away. Pressure coming straight up the gut there, and it takes a Birmingham bounce inside the 40-yard line down to the 30, where Nottingham will take over for their next possession. But that was very close to being blocked.
Got away with one there, didn't they, the Bulls? But it keeps the game tight. Still just 7-0. That score earlier on today, if you're just joining us, from Wellington to Feary. On the run over the left-hand side.
And that is one thing that Nottingham will be wanting to establish, that run game. In now at half-back is number 35, Ben Pugh. Big Ben Pugh there, offering some support behind Liam McGovern. And Pugh gets the handoff, bounces to his left-hand side, then back to his right, and to his left again. It looks like something from the ballroom. And Ben does manage to get over the 40 for a Nottingham first down, but beautiful quick feet from the big man.
Ben Pugh was playing defensive end at NTU. He's a defensive player that's converted. He always wanted to play fullback, and this is why. He's a big guy, but he's got ever such quick feet. He's a great athlete, and it's good to see him out there enjoying himself as the single feature back in this offense. So he'll be relishing this opportunity to show what he can do.
3 receivers to the right this time for McGovern, and one of those from the slot comes in motion. He looks out, little bubble screen out there looking for Josh. And Josh is snagged as soon as he makes the reception.
That's really well defended. Number 35 of the Bulls just not giving Alawata Watson a chance on that one. Straight in, and actually was very close, either knocking it away or jumping in front of that ball and taking it for 6 himself. Liam needs to keep an eye on that defender.
Yeah, and it's almost a situation where you're almost better just to knock that ball down as long as it's been a forward pass. Knock it down and not make the reception. But having said that, easy to say from sitting up here with hindsight. 3rd down then. Ball again to Pugh, and Pugh trucks the first man. And he gets his way up past midfield. But it's going to be 3rd down. Yeah, 3rd down for Pugh. But again, there's that D-end mentality coming out there, Cole.
Yeah, I mean, he did a great job. You saw his feet on the first play, and then but he can just knock you straight back. Picks up 7 yards, makes this a manageable 3rd and 5.
I suppose that's the advantage Nottingham have got. They're stable of backs. They've got all sorts. They've got power. They've got agility. They've got speed. So just when you think as a defence that you've got the offence where you want them, as that is the end of the first quarter, a very quick first quarter. Then Nottingham will bring in a different style of attacker, and you've got to go back to the drawing board.
That's it. You've got a lot of talent on this field, as we talked about pre-game, both on offense and on defense. And this is the great thing. If you're a quarterback like Liam, you've just got so many weapons. You can use them and really change it up when you need to. Whether you want to go deep, you've got that deep passing threat. You've also got running backs that can knock you back or dance around you. So some real challenges for this Birmingham Bulls defence. But so far they've just let in that 1 score. They'll need to try and stiffen as the Nottingham Caesars move into the Bulls half.
Just a producer's note to you guys. The background audio for us sounds really loud, but actually on the screen, it's barely noticeable. Though it is there.
So as we start the second quarter, Nottingham have now played 9 quarters so far, and in 5 of those, they have registered shutouts. Obviously, they conceded, more than 5 actually. They conceded 14 points early on last week against Sheffield, but defensively, another good showing to start the day today. Obviously, shut out Sheffield 38-0 a few weeks back. So here we go then. First play of the second quarter. McGovern directing traffic. Pugh still in the backfield. 3 receivers down to the right. Little stack formation in the slot to the right hand side. And Pugh takes the ball again. He looks to bounce. Now he's going to lower the boom, is he? He's not, but maybe he should have done because he's going to be short of that first down. It's going to be 4th and 3. Interesting decision now for Nottingham. Do they pile the pressure on Birmingham and pin them back deep, or do they try and pick up this first down just inside halfway?
Yeah, you got to wonder about the play calling on that. Asking Pugh to pick up all 5 yards when you've got weapons. You've got Harrison you can go to as a big rangy receiver. You've got Oluwatosin who you can go to. So you just wonder about the play calling on that. 4th down looks like they're going to go for it.
Well, here's your answer. James Draper in the backfield, number 5. I believe. So yeah, big call here early in the second quarter.
That's a power run if I ever saw one.
Straight up the middle they're looking. Little bit of a seam, and that's going to be close. And it looks like from where the official's standing there is going to be a Nottingham first down. So good, brave call. Draper picks up the necessary yardage.
Yeah, he's just in that position in the field where, it's a a 90-yard field, so punting not going to give you much of an advantage. So you play the percentage, which is go for the 4th down try, and Nottingham do a good job converting.
Another message back from the sideline again. Apparently Will Hobbs is playing. He hasn't been downgraded to out. Mixed messages there, but whether or not somebody messaged in, gave Will a text message and said, we've been told you're not playing. And he's decided he's now playing as a big hole opens up the middle. Good feet from Draper. Dancing himself, stepping out of tackles and picking up another Nottingham first down. Back-to-back runs and back-to-back first downs for Draper.
I believe Draper's a former Tamworth player, so he's come back to play for Nottingham, showing what he can do in the backfield. So Liam's got all these weapons, as we said. Ben Pugh comes in, makes a play. James Draper coming in, making a play. They're now getting that running game going, and the Birmingham Bulls still playing just with that 3-man defensive line. They might have to think again.
And we've got that same situation at the bottom of the screen with Oluwatosin and his man on an island down here, and McGovern has a glance to his right and he looks that way. Ball handoff again.
Oh, sorry guys.
And this time Draper gets caught in the backfield for a loss of 3. But you've got to think at some point they're going to look Oluwatosin's way once again.
Bulls do a much better job there. They crowded the line of scrimmage and brought 2 linebackers up, trying to get the ball between the tackles, but had to bubble out. And then number 30 comes over to make the tackle for the Bulls. Good job.
So it's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back at the minute for Nottingham. 2 back-to-back first downs on the ground and then a loss of 3. This time, new running back for McGovern. Although Wattison's on the short side of the field as well. Ball is handed off. Little stutter step and then a big gap and a big run. The boom comes down again at the end of that run. That will be Nottingham first down once again. That's Simpson with the carry.
Yeah, so many great running backs. So what a stable of running backs we've got in the backfield. Seen 3 of them coming in, and all of them been effective so far for this Nottingham Caesars offense.
What do you got in zone view, Carl?
So 1st and 10. They can get a first down without scoring. McGovern with Simpson alongside him. McGovern to the air and he's looking for Oluwatosin in the end zone, and it's in and out of the hands of the big rangy receiver. And you kind of almost expected him to come down with that one, but not this time.
Yeah, well defended on the edge. Just feel like the pass was a little bit too high for Ben on that one.
Next step, we need more numbers.
Carl, if you ever go in zone view live, I can just make sure that I keep the play in it even if it's a pass.
So here we go again then. 2nd and 10. There's McGovern. 2 receivers tight. Simpson with the handoff again. There's a big hole up the middle again, but he's bounced straight into his centre. That'll bring up 3rd down. Remember, first down possible without a touchdown at the minute. Need to get to around about the 3-yard line or so, 4-yard line to pick up that first down. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
It's got to feel like they're going to go to the air this time is Liam. So you can see the bottom of your screen, Oluwatosin single coverage, and that's what Nottingham Caesars want, although there is another DB there lurking, and he will drop to assist.
Rolls to his left, throws off his back foot, man wide open in the end zone. No signal yet, but now there is. Touchdown Nottingham, number 20. And that is Harvey for Nottingham. Beautifully done by McGovern, and there's that strong arm you talked about because he rolled to his left, had to throw off his back foot and put it on a rope to his receiver.
Yeah, and Harvey did a nice job just getting away from the coverage, just runs a little in then out, back corner of the end zone, and 2 scores now to Nottingham.
There you go, mate. Found him.
No ghosting today.
That's good.
So on comes Jackaman again to attempt the extra point. Kick is up and good. Slightly jumping the official signals there, but it was good. And that puts the score Nottingham 14 and Birmingham 0. Again, midway through the second quarter here. Nottingham beginning to assert their dominance, Carl.
They are, and the ball stayed with them early on, but just that stable of running backs coming on to take on a tired defence, and they can just swap these different athletes in at different times. Offensive line doing a nice job creating the gaps for them. Bulls have to do something on this series. They've been relying on that I formation running game, so we'll see what they come out with for this series, and they're coming towards the midpoint in this second period.
So then, Nottingham will be feeling a little bit more comfortable, but still, you can't honestly say they're completely in their rhythm. Still a little bit scrappy at times. Good defensive pressure still from Birmingham, hanging in there. But as you've mentioned, you feel if Birmingham don't get the next score, this one could get out of hand before half-time.
It's consistent scoring. They had a touchdown in the first, touchdown in the second period.
That ball bounces through into the end zone for a touchback. Birmingham taking over on their 20-yard line then, hoping to get something going here. Lloyd will be coming back in. Quarterback for the Bulls. Got anything there at all, Cole?
Plenty of conversation on the stream, and it's good to see you guys joining us, so thanks for that. We're enjoying watching the conversations going on. Lots of support for Nottingham, lots of comments about the stable of running backs that Nottingham have got this year in terms of being able to rotate those in. But there are Bulls fans on the stream as well. We'd love to hear from you.
If you're interested,
let us know what you're wanting out of this game, or indeed what you want out of your season.
Anybody who's interested as well, the dodgeball tournament's heating up here. As on first down, the ball is handed off. And again, good pursuit by the Caesars, but not until that running back has picked up 4 yards for the Birmingham Bulls.
Isaac Sarr and Andrew Wilkins, both ex-NTU players, just eating up these running backs currently, 54 and 22. Wilkins missed the first home game, so we didn't see him on that live stream, but he's coaching now for NTU, so I know him well. I have to spend time with him 3 times a week, which obviously is a pleasure.
But equally as well, Wilkins, for so long, the heartbeat of this season's defence as well.
Yeah, he certainly was, and with Ashley Matthews as well, who's on the stream watching, those two
and Rob Hardwick in there.
Hardwick in there that retired this year. But Isaac Sarr, a really great addition, number 54 there.
Second down, Bulls go to the air. He's got time, good protection by his O-line. Now he has to step up, try and run, spins out of 2 tackles and picks up the first down, does Lloyd. All improvisation by the Birmingham quarterback, which results in a first down.
Well, he's got the right idea as Ryan Lloyd. He's making plays when he needs to, and that's what they're going to need to do, these Bulls, if they're going to try and stay in this one. They need to really push the envelope, push themselves out of their comfort zone and make something happen on this drive. So good, smart thinking.
That'll be promising though as well for the coaching staff of the Bulls, seeing the amount of time Lloyd had there back in the pocket. Good coverage downfield, DB's blanketing the receivers, not giving Lloyd any options, but he did have time to sort of scan through all his progressions, and it was just good coverage, but then used his own footwork to pick up a Birmingham first down. So here we go again. It's interesting, not often you see a quarterback 89 and a halfback 91, is it, Cole?
They don't care, the Bulls. It's not about the bling, it's about what you bring in terms of the football.
Oh, have you just made that up? Because that was sweet if you've literally just made that up. But what he is bringing is some power up the middle, and those feet keep driving. He's still on his feet at the halfway line, knees pumping hard, and he picks up another 3 yards after he's got 4 or 5 Caesars draped on his back. If anybody is aware of the name of number 91, he needs some props, if nothing else, just for that individual effort.
Yeah, nice job from 91 on that run. And this is the spirit of the Birmingham Bulls. We talked about it, they're not going to quit. They'll keep coming at you and testing you, and that's what they're needing to do on this drive. Another great run, keep those chains moving. The
Bulls have such a strong tradition, long tradition in British American football, going back to the 80s. They've had their lulls, but they've coming back to strength now and putting a good performance out here again. Handed off once more. It'll Hand off there to the left-hand side, just off left tackle. Better pursuit that time by Nottingham, but still positive yardage for the Bulls, and they keep marching on.
Yeah, you wonder how many of these players also maybe playing both ways. We'll try and keep an eye on that as the Bulls keep that. It's a low-risk offense, right? It's I formation. You keep hold of the balls. You run it first, second down. You make those third downs manageable, and you just keep those chains moving. You can do that as long as you keep the game close and tight. As soon as those Caesars score starts pulling away, you have to start thinking about throwing the ball as you run out of time. But right now, the Bulls can stay to that game plan.
Because I think that's exactly what's happening. As long as the ball stays on the ground, that clock will continue to run, and it won't be an ally of Birmingham. Ball this time, little QB keeper there, little option. But that's well read once again by Wilkins and his teammates.
Salmon, the first defender there, linebacker Salmon for the Nottingham Caesars, making a tackle just on that run option. Quarterback keeps it, rolls back. I think 91, thanks to Paul Carter for letting us know 91 we think is Chris Else. That's the feature running back for this Bulls offense currently. So Ryan Lloyd and Chris Else in that backfield. They've been the go-to players, certainly on this series. Bulls now third down. Third and about 7 after that good defensive play.
So we mentioned about them rotating the halfbacks, Nottingham, but equally rotating that linebacker core. Wilkins having a breather on the sideline. Salmon taking his spot at the moment. And that's going to be an offside penalty, I would have thought, against Nottingham. Linebacker tried to jump into the gap, but obviously, as would be the case, the Caesars point the way of the Bulls. The Bulls point the way of the Caesars. And we'll let the official decide. Let's have a listen. Let's have a look. It is a false start, indeed. So maybe that linebacker jumping into the gap there just prompted one of the Bulls linemen to flinch ever so slightly.
Yeah, I feel it was a bit unlucky on the Bulls, that one. I mean, there was clear movement into the neutral zone from a Caesars player, and Bulls unlucky on that call. It's going to bring up 3rd and 12.
It was Jepson who looked to shoot that gap for Nottingham. So, 3rd and long then. This time 2 running backs, and Lloyd drops back to pass, looks down the seam, and it's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Dangerous pass there. Great coverage that time by Jackerman.
Robertson with pressure off the left-hand side. The University of Loughborough defensive lineman just straight into the quarterback's face, and quarterback actually did a good job to even get an accurate pass away. Just good defense both ends from the Nottingham Caesars on that.
So 4th and long then. 4th and 12 sees the punting unit come out for Birmingham, and they will be hoping that this takes a favourable bounce and will pin Nottingham inside their at least the 20-yard line, if not maybe even better on the 10. One thing about this surface, the borders tend to skid and die quite quickly. Pressure coming, but well picked up by Birmingham. And that ball does bounce. And it's going to take a beautiful Birmingham roll inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line. And that couldn't have worked out any better for the West Midlands outfit.
All right, so you got them backed up. The offensive drive stalled, but the defense have got some opportunity now to put this Nottingham Caesars offense under some pressure.
88 yards then is the challenge. 88 yards and 11 Bulls is what stand between Nottingham and extending their lead to 3 scores in this NFC1 South clash. Top of the table, Nottingham taking on the 1-1 Birmingham Bulls from the David Ross Sports Village in the heart of the East Midlands and the heart of Nottingham. McGovern again standing in his own end zone. One running back behind, you'd assume this is being handed off. We go to the air, and he's looking over the top, and that's picked off! And there wasn't a receiver within 5 yards there that time. Bad decision from McGovern, and the man is still on his feet at the 5, dances his way, steps, and into the end zone. But there is a flag down. We'll wait to see the flag. Looking like it may well be a block in the back from where it was thrown.
That is a great play from Birmingham Bulls defence to put Liam McGovern under pressure in his own end zone, and defensive back 34 is there to pick that one off. Let us know on the stream if you have a number for 34. We'll give him a shout. Check this penalty, Matt.
He had a lot to do as well. When he picked that ball off, he had a lot to do. But it looks like it's going to be against Nottingham, that the way that this Bulls are running off. Let's see if we can get... Obviously, we've not got the referee mic'd up today, but we'll see if we can get that the signal for you. But the way that things are working...
You've got to question the play calling on that, backed up in your own end zone as well, haven't you?
Here's the signal. Oh, it is against it. It was a block in the back. So the interception will stand because it was after the interception. The touchdown won't count. So I suppose that's one bonus. But you're right, yeah, interesting call. Would you call that a confident call? Would you call that overconfident? Would you call it arrogant?
Well, I think it's just overconfident. I think, Birmingham Bulls are a talented defence. They've shown that already. And, to go play action, I know you're trying to get them off, but they're playing with 5 defensive backs. They've only got 3 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and then 5 DBs in. So putting Liam in a position where he's throwing into traffic, and the Birmingham Bulls now with some great field position. Now they're lucky on the play, on the hold as well, because the Nottingham defence is really tough. So you're handing it over now to your defence to get you out of that hole that you created on offence.
And again, like you say, McGovern was under pressure, but whether there was some miscommunication there between his receiver and the signal caller for Nottingham, because there wasn't a receiver within 5 yards of where that ball ended up.
We think the interception was made by Alex Corbett. Thanks, Paul Carter, for letting us know that. Alex Corbett on the interception and the return that was taken back. But so the Bulls making a big play on defence, and time out now for these teams to talk about what they want to do next as we get to the serious end of this second quarter.
Which gives us an opportunity to talk to you about our sponsors. United Kingdom Drone Service, based in the East Midlands, are fully qualified in RTK Mapping, confined space surveys, roof surveys and industrial inspections. Whether it's residential, commercial or industrial, contact United Kingdom Drone Service for all your surveying needs. Cameron can be contacted, Cameron at ukdroneservice.co.uk. Feeling peckish? I am feeling peckish.
Certainly.
Do you know what would be wonderful
for the half time?
if these boys from the pizza box could deliver us a pizza at half time? How amazing would that be? Nottingham's finest wood-fired pizza, event catering tailored to your needs, weddings, birthday parties, hen and stag do's, festivals and any other celebrations. Find the Pizza Box on Instagram, Facebook and at thepizzabox.uk. And finally, as the Bulls retake the field, the UK American football scene Britball for All looks to bring everything from the latest news, fixtures, scores, results and pictures from the domestic American Football League, covering adult, senior, women's, youth and the junior disciplines. UK American football scene Britball for All have all your Britball needs covered on Facebook. Thank you to all our sponsors today and for this season. And here we go then, Birmingham ready to go once again.
New quarterback in, 3 backs in the backfield.
Yeah, new look then, something different, but it's that same running back, Chris Else, straight up the middle. Positive play on first down for the Bulls. Pick up of maybe 3. Yeah, so Birmingham, like you say, they're thinking, right, we've got to jump on this opportunity now. We've been thrown a lifeline here in the second quarter.
We don't have a clock, but there's plenty of time left, we feel, to enable the Bulls to pick up now what they need, 20 yards. So 2nd and 8.
As ever, if there are any Bulls fans out there with a name for this new quarterback, they're very much appreciated. Still got that 3-back set. Almost like a stack of bowling pins the way it's set up. And this is a QB keeper, and that's well read. Nottingham's number 93, Scanlon, wasn't fooled by that one iota. Great penetration, and he brings the quarterback down for a big loss.
Henry Scanlon, University of Nottingham player. Another great recruit to this Nottingham Caesars team. Playing great defensive end play, just the way you want to do it. Quarterback trying to get the edge, and Scanlon just tracks him down.
What's your? I'm being picky here because I like aesthetics, Carl. What's your feeling about
Aesthetics?
Yeah,
You could have made an effort.
as soon as you didn't, I don't feel quite so bad. What's your feeling about? Well, I'll come back to that in a minute. I'm thinking about different helmets. Anyway, and that is a jump, and that looks like it could be a free play, in fact. And Else again trying to bounce it around the right end, and he does. Oh, and then he's met. And I think that's Salmon number 55, who rose like the proverbial salmon and knocked Else back off his feet to stop him getting to the original line of scrimmage. Great defensive play there from Salmon.
That's a really nice hit, and that's what you do. A quarterback is going to keep the ball. When you do make contact, you want to make sure you let that player know.
So yeah, very briefly, does it bother you about the sort of the white? I know that obviously it's expensive and it's the university time, that's their predominant team. Does it bother you when you see it? It just makes it feel a bit ragtag to me. But maybe I'm being.
No, I know what you're saying, and I think certainly in the university game, when you get to those finals and semi-final games, and it's the same with adult, you want to come out the same uniforms and look like a team. But this Nottingham Caesars team is made up of players from all over the East Midlands now, so we'll see how that progresses, whether they can get some funding to actually bring it all uniform as this team progresses through the season.
Lloyd back in at quarterback, he rolls out to his left and he's looking downfield, and that's in and out of the hands of the DB.
It's Mickey Fisher.
And that is Mickey Fisher, and Mickey Fisher turns away as if to say, right, I didn't want to catch that. Yeah, I stopped it, I think made pass incomplete. If I stop that from there, we might get better field. But yeah, all right, Mickey, you dropped it.
We have a name for the quarterback, by the way.
He was just
number 15.
Guy Spencer.
Guy Spencer, then 15 for Birmingham.
He was in the right position, Mickey, wasn't he?
He
was right there to make the play. He'll be disappointed with himself because it's going to give the opportunity for the Bulls to maybe get 3 here.
In fact, no, that was fourth down,
so they're going to turn it over. Well, Mickey made a great play there. You don't catch it, so take it all back, knock it down, out they come to the 20.
So, as you mentioned earlier on, after that turnover, that Caesars defence holds strong as McGovern hands off on first down, then fakes the throw to try and keep a pair of eyes off him, and the running back, number 25, which is Teferi, manages to bounce from his original flight plan inside the line, inside the tackles, outside he goes and picks up 7 yards on first down.
Yeah, the touchdown scorer, Teferi, still playing hard. Got another opportunity to be featured in that backfield. What do you think of running back coming into Nottingham Caesars? You've got to compete with everyone. They've got Ben Pugh in the backfield now as a fullback and Teferi in behind him.
McGovern again, that's that one doesn't get a chance to start. Left guard went early there, as spotted by our producer, Mr. Sean Endicott.
That's Victor Sogberson, who's ex-University of Nottingham. You can see him there in the middle of your screen, big 53 that gets called on that one.
Oh, that's you guys as well, yeah? Didn't Victor play for you guys?
Yeah, Victor played for NTU. We taught him everything he knew, and then he went to University of Nottingham and had a championship, well, very close to a championship season. So you're welcome.
My son's got a swim coach like that. Coached him when he was like 12 years old, and anytime he has any success now, it's always because of her, apparently. Anyway, here we go then. Second down. McGovern rolling to his left again, sets his feet under big pressure, and the ball is up and incomplete that time. Oh, it's difficult. Rolling as a right-handed quarterback. Rolling to your left. Turn your back on the defence to start with. Then rolling to your left, and all of a sudden you see a big defensive lineman towering down on you. But McGovern, I like the fact that they still wanted to go to the air with McGovern, try and get his confidence built back up after that earlier pick. But now,
I don't blame Liam for that pick. For me, it was the play call. You know, you don't put your quarterback in a position where he's going play action from his 5-yard line, throwing into 5 defensive backs that are looking to make a play. So, let's give Liam a break.
Yeah, fair play, fair dues. But equally, it's important from that coordinator's perspective to allow him to throw again to try and get it out of his mind.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But it won't lower his confidence. Liam will be. He doesn't lack in confidence. Let's put it that way.
Third down then, and a long 8. 3 receivers to the right. Ball handed off. Good pursuit once again, and a good tackle. Number 659 up there in the middle. for Birmingham.
Robinson, he's got one of those neck rolls on as 59. I used to wear one of those old school neck rolls. Can't do wrong with a neck roll.
Well, he reminds me, just shape and one thing reminds me of old Leon Lewis.
Can I give a shout out to Niall Simpson? That's Caesars under-19 graduate. Went on to play for Loughborough, was MVP of the Div 1 National Championship that the Loughborough students won. And then now he's back in Burgundy and Gold.
The voice you can hear is the voice of our producer,
I coached him.
Sean Endicott.
Here we go.
So hopefully you could hear that, but yeah.
Right, well, I coached Will Hobbs when he was 15.
We didn't make
And
a
Dan
play
Johnson.
on that. He didn't make a play
No,
on
all right. He don't make plays anymore. But
that. It was a great tackle. This is what the Bulls defense need to do. They need to step up and shut this Caesars team down, which they did on that series. So on to punt.
joking aside, going back to that, you've got Sean here who's coached Niall Simpson and amongst others who's now playing in the adult leagues. You've got yourself, obviously, mentee you with such great links to so many of these Caesars players and around the country. You've got myself who obviously way back coached a little bit with the Nottingham juniors. So it's just lovely that the whole Britball community, I think, is just going from strength to strength. And obviously, I know that us three love being involved with this up in the booth as the ball goes high over John's head and all he can do is fall on it. No, he tries to make something of it and does. Manages to get a kick away and actually puts in an outstanding kick.
I apologise for the camera work. That's the most wild play I've ever seen.
Trust me, even without the camera work, we were struggling a little bit, but that's gone into Bulls territory and just outside the 30-yard line. Fair play.
Niall Simpson, he saved the day on that. It was a poor snap. I think
it was Johns.
Sorry,
Danny
it was Johns. It was Danny Johns. I think it was.
It could have been inside the 35.
I think it was Wilkins on the snap that just let Johns down. But great job, and it looks like as the voice of Sean Endicott, it's going to pin him back.
That's absolute. Most punters would have
Great
dropped
athletic
on that.
play.
They'd have dropped on that and just sort of cut the losses. But fair play, Danny Johns manages to use that athleticism, puts his foot through the ball, and that ball has travelled the best part of 60 yards. So here we go, first down, Birmingham. Ball handed off once again, and it's Else again with running room. And he's dragging Caesar's defenders with him up close to midfield in a Birmingham first down.
He deserved it. Yeah, he deserved the first down on that. He's just fighting tenaciously, trying to make something happen. Caesars have definitely seen a drop-off in terms of their performance on offense. And the Bulls now, as time running out in this second quarter, maybe they can sneak a score on the board.
Here we go, from your defensive coordinator position. We talked about earlier on about Wilkins having coming out of the lineup and Salmon now in there, number 55, playing back inside backer. Obviously, you want to keep your players fresh as Lloyd rolls round to his right-hand side and good coverage on the play, and now the flag comes in, and that may well be for pass interference because I did think that defender maybe gave the receiver a bit of a shove. But what's your perspective of how do you balance keeping players fresh on the defence to keeping consistent performance? Obviously, with them, as you change things, you can have drop-offs in performance. What's the balance?
Well, the interesting thing about the Caesars this year is they have so many athletes. They kind of partner up. They have units within that linebacking defence and within the defensive line, and they're bringing on different units at different times. So those units get a chance to play together, even though they might not get a chance to do everything as a first 11. But when you've got so much talent, you do want to rotate them in as much as you can. You can see Will Hobbs, number 30, back there at free safety now. So he is playing, and they are bringing him in.
He's probably gone, Mickey Fisher, you dropped that pick in the end zone. Yeah, but I meant to. Well, I don't care. I'm going on. But anyway, here we go then. So it is going to be a penalty against Nottingham. It marches. Indeed, I think actually a chat being required by the Bulls sideline. And actually, it looks like that first down is going to be replayed again. But yeah, you kind of feel like the Bulls are there or thereabouts. They're knocking on the door just without finding the end product, aren't they? They've got Else running hard. Lloyd with that threat through the air, although they've not accomplished a great deal in that part of the game yet. And now, as some of the Bulls players throw their hands up in the air,
the Bulls got to find a way to get into the Nottingham half and be camped there for a little while they try and get in. The only opportunity they've had to do that so far has been a great punt and then the interception. But the offense is struggling to get into the red zone themselves.
You mentioned about the Caesars offense struggling today. Like you said, it's not necessarily so much the Caesars offense struggling as a very stout, well-coached Bulls defense.
Yeah, and they have that. They play a kind of three defensive linemen with three linebackers stacked in behind, and it's an effective little defense.
Lloyd again under pressure, and he looks to try and roll, and he can't escape. Big number 90, Marshall Odenor, who registers his first sack of the afternoon. Good play there from the defensive end of Nottingham. Timeout once again for the Bulls, as obviously the half is rapidly coming to a close. So Birmingham thinking we've got to try and elongate this quarter if we can and get something on the board before we go in.
Just wonder whether they have that deep threat or indeed a quarterback with an arm that can get the ball down the field. They're very reliant on that running game, are the Bulls, but Lloyd is in. They've done some work on the run option, but do they have a pass option or something that they can catch this defense out with?
This is a very stereotypical thing today, but Lloyd is not your prototypical quarterback shape, particularly as he goes back to pass this time. Big pressure again from Nottingham, and it's that same man, I believe. Let's have a look and get that number for you. It's not. It's number 97 this time. It's Robertson. Back-to-back sacks for the Nottingham defence. And big pressure coming from the left-hand side of that Nottingham defensive line.
Yeah, I think they brought one linebacker, sending 5 against 5, as the Caesars now calling a timeout to stop the clock. They're wanting to see whether they can get the ball back. You've got, if you look at that defensive line, you've got big number 90, who's Xavier, who's an NTU player. You've got players from University of Nottingham there, 2 of them, Scanlon and University of Loughborough player Robertson, who's a hell of a player. Stocky, good balance, great speed off that defensive line of scrimmage, and they're causing some big problems for this offensive line now of Birmingham whenever they drop back to pass.
So the story of this first half then, scoring was opened by Teferi's 10-yard rush with Jackerman adding the extras in the first quarter. That was the end of that. 7-zip was the score to Nottingham at the end of that. Elliot Harvey then, 10-yard TD reception in the second from McGovern with a Jackerman extra point to put the score at 14-0. Then we saw an interception by Alex Corbett of the Bulls. It went in for a TD, but unfortunately was pulled back for a Bulls blocking the back penalty. And then there was a turnover on downs on that subsequent Bulls drive. Mickey Fisher had his hands on the ball in the end zone on 4th down as the medical crew come onto the field.
Yeah, the Bulls lining up again in the wishbone formation. You can tell an offense, what they're going to do, where they feel their strength is by the formations they come out with. You got I formation early on, and now this wishbone formation. That's the strength of their team. But of course, the danger is as you get to less than 2 minutes to go and you need to move the ball quickly. It's hard to do that unless you have those threats, the passing threats that you need.
Guy Spencer then back in at quarterback, and he's keeping on that quarterback run again off to the left-hand side. Good pursuit once again by the Caesars defense. Number 31 in there, Jepson amongst others. And that's not going to pick a great deal up for Birmingham. The clock will continue to run.
They're having success between the tackles, Birmingham, but this defence for Nottingham, they're really fast as well. They've got some great athletes that can bubble it out or just make plays right there as they track these runners down.
Here we go then, 2nd down Birmingham. In fact, 4th down Birmingham. My mistake, punt team is on. So there were obviously 2 big sacks, then that run from Guy Spencer, which didn't go too far. And now the punt is dropped, and he's done very well, the punter has. And he's still looking to kick it away. Tries to do a Danny Johns, and the ball is fielded on the halfway line by Nottingham. And he's still down the sideline, is that returner. Let's get a number for you if we can on that. It looks like
55.
55, is that Mr. Salmon?
It is indeed, Matt. Now, there was no penalty on that, so the play's going to stand, which is an interesting one, because often there is a rule within American football, if you return the ball within 10 yards, that is a flag, but So the ball must have gone more than 10 yards.
Indeed.
Hurry up, off. It's already on the field. Look at him.
But I tell you what, as well, punting is an adventure this afternoon for both teams.
It is. We've had great athletic plays by both punters, but Nottingham will end up on the 31.
Oluwatosin on the wide side of the field here for McGovern. 1-on-1 with his defender. Twins both sides for the Caesars offence. Can McGovern have the time? He looks right, then goes back to the left. He's 1-on-1 this side as well, and that's out of bounds. And there's that red line. Catch was made by Harrison, but he was 2 or 3 yards out of the sideline. So that'll come back, but the clock is stopped. And maybe now, as Nottingham, if there's not a lot of time at all left, you just take a few shots. If it's incomplete, your clock stops, you go again.
Who do you defend if you're Birmingham? You've got Oluwatosin, you've got Cotterill on there, you've got Harrison on there. Liam knows Cotterill and Harrison really well from NTU, so he's got a lot of different threats available to him.
So here we go again then. 2nd down and 10 for Nottingham.
Sorry, Nathan Hall, not Cotterill.
I was looking for that boy, and I
I was
thought,
say Nathan's still there.
yeah.
It's because the guys on the chat have been talking about Cotterill. So I'll give him a mention anyway. It's Nathan Hall in number 88 there, to the bottom of your screen. The other threat that Nottingham have got out there is Harvey. So 4 great receivers.
Indeed, and one great quarterback looking to try and get that ball to one of those 4 pass catches. Let's see whether McGovern can add to the Nottingham lead before the half. Blitz being threatened there on the left-hand side by Robinson. He drops back into his linebacker position now and stays there. He is looking Oluwatison's way. That ball's underthrown, but Oluwatosin comes back for it. But the ball is incomplete. Takes a 1 hop off the turf, and there's a flag down as well. All sorts of things going on that 2nd down play. And the way that our lineman number 73, Bingham, is gesticulating to the officials, I don't think he agrees with the call.
It's going to be a hold, I think, but there was also, lots of stuff going on between the wide receiver and the defensive back on that. Oluwatosin and number 35 for the Bulls, who's matching up 1-on-1 against him and is doing as good a job as he can at the moment. He wanted an offensive pass interference on that.
Now we've moved into a women's dodgeball competition here at the David Ross Sports Village. Fantastic setup. We mentioned it early doors right at the beginning, but what an incredible facility this is. Outdoor facilities, indoor facilities, the pool at the back. Obviously just off campus a little bit, Highfields, the hockey and rugby facilities down there. This was Sports University of the Year in 2019 and 2021, so the Caesars very, very appreciative of the facilities that they have at their disposal, both for practice and game day. And back to game day, 2nd and 20 for McGovern. Man coming in motion is Harrison. He drops into a stack position on this right-hand side. And again, the little screen coming for Oluwatosin. And McGovern's just a little bit off in this 2nd quarter. Ball just...
They tried that earlier as well and it nearly got picked. I mean, I would just take that off the play sheet. Because, it's a 20-yard pass out to the sideline for very little gain and a high risk. But it's the half-time, Matt.
Indeed, that is. That was the last play of this first half, and it ends with a little bit of a whimper, to be honest. But nevertheless, Nottingham find themselves with a 14-0 advantage. We will go and stretch our legs and be back with you very shortly for the 2nd half. Don't go away. Welcome back to this glorious Sunday afternoon in the middle of May. You join us at half-time of this NFC1 South clash between the Nottingham Caesars and the Birmingham Bulls. And as you can see from the screen, the hometown Caesars hold the advantage 14-0. Fair reflection of the first half, Cole?
Yeah, I think Nottingham came out well, and that opening drive where they stalled a little bit, but other than that, they had two good strong drives, and they're bringing their athletes coming in to bear. I think what Nottingham need to do is to keep the pressure on through all four quarters of a game, and what you're noticing is there's a little bit of chemistry missing from where I am in terms of Nottingham. Just they've got great athletes and they can score when they need to. But it's about having that consistency throughout four quarters of a game that will really take you to the Premiership. And that's what they're going to need to learn that. It's still early in the season. It's just their third game out. I'm not seeing that consistency from them so far, but they have masses of potential. The Bulls, on the other hand, they seem to have a fairly one-dimensional offence. It's very reliant on the run. It's going to be difficult for them to come back because they just don't have that passing attack that you need towards the end of a first half when you've only got a couple of minutes left to get down the field. And they're struggling a little bit against this Nottingham Caesars tough front seven. So we'll have to see how it plays out. We'll see whether the Bulls have made any adjustments as they come into this second half.
Well, they'll have an opportunity right off the bat to see if they can cut that Caesars lead down at all. They'll be receiving the second half kickoff. And we will see whether or not Ryan Lloyd or Guy Spencer take the opening snap under centre. One of the highlights for the Bulls, as well as that defence, and they have very much kept this Caesars offence off balance for sections of that first half. But Chris Elst, the big number 91, the running back for the Bulls, has shown some glimmers of what he's all about.
Yeah, and so has Ryan Lloyd at different times. They've been the go-to players on this offence. But whenever they're dropping back to pass, it's that defensive line from Nottingham Caesars that are coming through, particularly the play of Scanlon and Robertson coming off the edge, the ex-Loughborough player, really making it difficult whenever they drop to pass the ball. And they're going to need to rely on that running game. They get the ball first in this third quarter. This is the opportunity now to really stay disciplined, drive down the field, get a score on the board if you're Birmingham, and then build from there. If
you are just joining us, those 14 points have come from a Teferi 10-yard run in the first quarter and an Elliot Harvey 10-yard reception in the second quarter. Extra points both added successfully by Jackaman. Been a couple of turnovers, interception by the Bulls, number 34 Alex Corbett of Liam McGovern, which put them in a real good field position midway through the second quarter. But unfortunately, that was resulted in a turnover on downs as Mickey Fisher knocked down the attempted touchdown. We mentioned this last game, Carl. Interesting formation the Caesars have on these kickoffs, almost like a stack formation, as the ball is fielded at the 16-yard line. Number 81 on the return. He's wrestled to the ground just outside the 30-yard line, and the Birmingham offense will retake the field.
Harrison, NTU player, coming in to make the special teams play. The tackle on the edge there was a nice tackle. He's that gunner player that comes down and just heads straight for the returner. Did a nice job.
So Ryan Lloyd, number 89, will return under centre for the Bulls at the start of this second half. See if they can get anything going. Again, that linebacking core for Nottingham, with Andrew Wilkins there, number 22, anchoring that linebacking unit. Mickey Fisher and Jackaman safeties. Ball handed off on first down, Chris Else. Once again trying to find a gap between guard and tackle. Picks up a couple on first down, 2nd and 6 upcoming.
Yeah, Isaac Sarr and Gatley, number 95, defensive lineman for Nottingham, coming in to make the tackle on that one. Just a minimal pickup of 2 yards. But this is the type of offence that the Bulls have. Make some yards on first, second down, make manageable third down.
Yeah, they're very much a team that try and bully you in the trenches, aren't they? What we said about quarterback Ryan Lloyd, big man at quarterback, and Chris Else, a very big halfback. Guy Spencer there in motion. And Spencer is the man who was the intended receiver, and it was in and out of his hands. A nice ball there from quarterback Ryan Lloyd, and Spencer really should have taken that and would have had some field space in front of him to pick up extra yardage.
Yeah, he had a step on Mickey Fisher, who was in pass coverage on that, so he had an opportunity to make a play, but just not able to hold on to the ball.
So that will be third down. It's plays like that. I mean, realistically, that was a nice ball thrown by Lloyd, right on the money. Hit him in the hands. Spencer couldn't reel that one in. And you'd expect them to go to the air again on third down. Oh, and they tried to, but unfortunately for Lloyd, he rolls to his right after the play action straight into the arms of Baby.
They had a blitz from Isaac Sarr, and they had a blitz from, I think it's either 93 or 33, but there was just no opportunity. Both those gaps were full.
You only get 2 or 3 naked rolls a game. Then the defense starts hitting the QB no matter what.
I think
It's either Scanlon or Baby on the tackle there. I think it might have been Chris Baby.
Yeah,
on that one.
can't see a 33 on the field there for the Seeds at the moment, so I think it was Henry Scanlon, number 93. And that'll bring up a quick 3 and out for the Bulls. Exactly the opposite of what was required from them. But Nottingham should get good field position. Let's see whether this punt is any more straightforward. It is a little bit. Fielded at the Caesars 40-yard line with some daylight in front of him. And he's still on his feet inside the 30 down to the 25. And that is number 32, Mr. Mickey Fisher.
Andrew Wilkins made a devastating block just to give Mickey Fisher some additional yards on that. Wilkins laying the boom on a poor hapless Birmingham Bulls tackler.
Caesars in business again then. First series of the third quarter for them. Teferi back in at halfback alongside McGovern, so they're rotating that stable of backs again. And Teferi gets his shot at the start of the second half. 2 receivers to the left, Oluwatosin on his own to the right, and it's McGovern keeps the ball. Nice block from Oluwatosin. If anything, though, blocks his man into his quarterback's path, but positive pickup of close to 10 yards. Let's call it 9 there, 2nd and 1.
Yeah, Liam's good with his feet. I'd have preferred that he went to ground rather than actually got tackled. But he's tenacious when he's running with the ball.
Am I right to say an American quarterback, but has been living in the UK for pretty much most of his life? Born in the US, I believe.
Correct, yeah. Born in the US, has a US accent.
Well defended that time by the Bulls. Teferi with nowhere to go there. Stacked up before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll remain 3rd and short.
Bulls have got to keep him out. They need to keep them out of the end zone. And they're doing everything they can so far. A couple of decent run defended plays on 1st, 2nd down.
I could be wrong, Carl, but Liam's dad, I think, is on the sidelines for the Caesars now. It's Coach Phil McGovern.
Look who is in the backfield with Liam McGovern. It's Ben Pugh on 3rd and short. And Pugh, play action, but it's a nice ball this time out for the 1st down. Knee goes down, Harrison makes the reception. 1st down, Nottingham, right on the 10-yard line. It's going to be close to being 1st and goal.
Yeah, didn't need to do more than that, and that's smart play calling. You just a little quick slant inside. The defensive back was playing 7 yards off. Just give Harrison a chance to make the play. He'll be disappointed he didn't keep his feet and get more out of that, but 1st down.
Nice as well that you bring Ben Pugh in, threatening that pounding run up the middle. Try and divert some of the Bulls' eyes onto Pugh. Fake that handoff and then fling it out to Harrison. So good play call, good design and well executed. So 3 receivers on the right now, this time for McGovern. And here comes number 85 in motion. That is Marshall. And Pugh this time does try and dance to his left, then back to his right, looking for a block from Oluwatosin. And actually Josh did very well there not to push the Bulls defender in the back, which would have drawn a flag.
Ben Pugh with those quick feet, switching field, trying to get back to the offside the backside of the play. But Birmingham Bulls did a nice job just making sure he didn't get into that end zone. So it will bring up, a 2nd and 5 now.
Caesar's knocking at the door. 2nd and goal, in fact, from the 4-yard line. You kind of feel that if Nottingham go in here, a 21-point deficit has almost iced this one. But we've seen stranger things happen. McGovern to Pugh, up the middle, bounces to his right, crosses the goal line. The arms fly to the sky from the Caesars. No flags. There's the signal from the line judge. Touchdown, Nottingham. Ben Pugh.
He'll be loving that one, will Ben. Congratulations to him for getting in. He's really run well in this game, and a couple of handoffs to him, and he hits pay dirt. He'll love that one, will Ben.
And on comes Dan Johnson, former Nottingham Caesars junior, playing what we think may well be his last season for the Burgundy and Gold. He's been around the country as well, playing places like Sheffield. But nice to see Dan coming back for his final hurrah with the team that he started out in, playing flag football back in the day when the juniors were reborn. Kick is up and is, I'm thinking, good, no good.
Wide left.
Wide to the left, indeed. So that remains then Nottingham 20 and the Bulls 0.
Yeah, he had a good shot there, the end zone camera just showing you that that kick was off target.
Carl, can you do the quarter as well, please?
So, we mentioned
I should have done that anyway. That's my
mentioned lots of things about Nottingham so far, and one thing they've been very good with as well in the off-season, well, is the recruitment. They're publicising this particular season been good. They've been on local radio, they've had reports, interviews and all sorts of things. They've really been putting themselves out there, which has helped the recruitment drive, but also helped catapult them into the limelight a little bit. So kudos to all involved with the Caesars backroom staff in really trying to make this package as attractive as possible. Obviously, we're trying to do our bit by bringing you this stream if you can't be with us as well. And hopefully, if you did attempt to watch our first one, you'll hopefully agree with us that the quality of this, Sean, has really increased, and that's all down to Sean Endicott's hard work. And
I'll give credit to UN for that. Their marketing director helped with this. He did an outstanding job. We have a whole new setup. It's tremendous.
So this is only going to go from strength to strength in terms of the product that we try and offer you on the stream for these home games as we go through the season. But back to this one then, 20-0 for the Bulls. For the Caesars. And what's on that Bulls play sheet now, Carl, if you're the OC?
Just watching this interesting formation in Nottingham. They're sort of tight and then they come out.
Nice step there by the returner. Spins on his feet past the 30 down to the 35-yard line. So yeah, I'll pretend you didn't ignore my last question then, Carl. What's on your play sheet as an offensive coordinator?
Well, it's an offensive coordinator. You want a spread formation where you've got some receivers you can throw the ball to and begin to move the ball. But I don't think the Bulls have that. They certainly don't seem to have shown that they're willing to come out of either a wishbone, that they're coming out in an inverted wishbone or tight end in I formation. They haven't shown us that they've got that spread offense that you really need when you're 20 points down. And if you've got a great running attack that's really, carving up the field with big chunk plays on the ground, then you can stay on it. But Birmingham have to make an adjustment here.
Wilkins and Detlef now the inside backers for the Caesars.
So they go to split backs. We'll see what they can do from here.
Still Lloyd in at quarterback. Ball handed off to Chris Else, who bounces around to the right side just off tackle. Picks up a couple, maybe 5 or 6 actually, from the big halfback.
Thanks to Dead Devil, who says, yeah, this stream is so much better than the first one. Thanks very much. We appreciate you watching. Got nearly 100 people on the stream joining us, and you're very welcome. Great to have you with us.
To be fair, Carl, I've got 95 devices at home that I've told my family just to log on to, so there's probably only 5 people watching.
All those fake accounts you have as well.
It is, yeah.
Well,
Makes
the
us
comments
look
are
good.
actually Matt too.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's Salmon, and he's all these other ones. All his former players.
So here we go then. Second down for Lloyd and the Bulls offense. Handed off to Else again, this time to the left-hand side. A nice gap opens up just outside the left tackle.
That's nice blocking. Wilkins had to come over to from his backside linebacker position to make the tackle on that. That's what the Bulls need. Good, disciplined blocking up front, and that key block allows that running back to pick up first down.
So yeah, near midfield now, Birmingham then on this second possession of the second half. Looking to try and see if they can get something going in the Nottingham sunshine. Very much shining on the home team as Else again barrels his way over halfway. 3-yard pickup. And he's a tough customer. In fact, he doesn't even hit the ground on that run.
Who else at this point, right?
Quite right.
He's been a little bit... He's not got a great mark there for the referee. I thought he had a couple more yards than just those 3. He looked like more like 5 to me. But nice job by Else. He's running at pace at that line now, fearless into that line, and that's what you've got to do.
Defensively, do you kind of just key in on Else now? Because like you said earlier, there's not a great deal else that Birmingham has shown you.
Yeah, you keep grinding. They're going to get Birmingham with a false start on this one by the looks of things.
Yeah, that's the fullback there, number 37. Unfortunately, jumping early. And when it rains, it pours.
In terms of defence, it's just a matter of being sure-handed on the tackles. Keep bringing your man down, and you're 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards every down. But you know that you're going to get that opportunity on third down at some point to send something different, get that team off the field.
Michael Nabugo guilty of the false start. Birmingham once again then. Lloyd drops back to pass, looks to his right. Ball just off target from the intended receiver.
He had a man open, he had him open on the hook. Defender playing off. Receiver number 7, we'll see if we can get a name for you. But again, ball off target. Incomplete. 3rd and long.
Did they give you the roster they have to give to the rest? Because that's in the order. Oh, they didn't do the tempo.
So
Do a short run.
another incompletion. Brings up another 3rd and long for Birmingham. And after the Else positive start, Wilkins there coming from the backside to drag down Else. Along with Will Hobbs, I believe that was. Was Jepson in there? Possibly Will Hobbs.
Wilkins, Jepson, maybe Hobbs in there as well, but that was good defence. Tried to find the edge. Nathan didn't really get the block he needed, and unfortunately nowhere to go for Chris Else on that one.
So 4th down, punt team on. I saw old man Hobbs jog back to take the kick.
Oh man, Hobbs.
So
Under you.
for the I had a chat with him after the game last time. He knows how much I love him. I think the whole of Britball know how much I love him and what respect I've got for the guy. But I wouldn't necessarily put him back to return kicks at this stage in his career. I remember the first time I saw him play for Switzerland in Switzerland. His first play, he returned a kick and broke his collarbone. But anyway, I'm going to feel gutted if that happens now. Here he is. He's going to let that ball bounce, and he picks it up and he bobbles it, and then he picks it up again and gets absolutely crushed. So, showing his experience there, Will Hobbs.
Yeah, make a quick decision. Well, come on, don't put yourself in that position. But that was really good coverage from the Bulls.
Good kick as well, yeah, great coverage, good kick. Put the Caesars in difficult field position. I'm sure I'll hear from Will later on tonight, or from his better half Zoe about how I'm being mean to him. But nevertheless, here we go then. The Caesars back on the field. McGovern in at quarterback, and it looks like Carl Walkinshaw at halfback, number 33.
Jack Rice was in my shirt last week. I think his baby this week is the University of Nottingham running back.
In your shirt. It is, here he is. Oh no, McGovern with the play action fires that out. Nice little pass. Receiving there is Harvey.
Carl, like you ever had a shirt that looked as nice as this new kit for the Caesars?
Well, there was one year where we had some stitched shirts, I remember. But yeah, this kit does look really, really good. That was a nice little play that time with the play action, and then
Harvey
just coming out from his number 2 position just into Liam McGovern's eye line, and it's an easy pitch and catch.
Looks a bit like you there as well. That shape, that athletic shape there, Carl. That 33 jersey, bulky up top, athletic legs, receding hairline.
Keep going, man.
Here we go then again. So, first down, Nottingham. This time, Baby does get the handoff, and there's a huge hole up the middle. But that is snuffed out very quickly. But going to be falling close to a first down.
I think there's 4 yards downfield before he got touched. Great hole by the O-line.
Number 50 on the tackle is Jesse Asawi. But that's Sean rightly said. Around 4 or 5 yards before he was touched that time. But it's going to be second and half a yard.
Double teamed the 3-tech and then had the shade on the outside on that one.
Offensive line led by centre McCabe is an NTU player as well. He's doing a good job anchoring the middle of that line, and another decent block goes in there.
Uh-oh. Somebody's hurt.
Oh, yeah, top of the screen. Unfortunately, it looks like
Really bad.
Bingham, number 73, down at the moment, holding his arm. So officials timeout. We wish him well as the medical staff come on, but this gives us an opportunity to give you a word from our sponsors. UK American football scene. Britball for All looks to bring everything from the latest news, fixtures, latest scores, results and pictures from the domestic American Football League. Covering women's, adult, senior, youth and junior disciplines, UK American football scene, Britball for All, have all your Britball needs covered on Facebook. United Kingdom Drone Service, fully qualified in RTK Mapping, confined space surveys, roof surveys and industrial inspections. Whether it's residential, commercial or industrial, contact United Kingdom Drone Service for all your surveying needs. Get in touch with them using the email cameron@ukdroneservice.co.uk. And our final sponsor today, Nottingham's finest wood-fired pizza can be found from the Pizza Box, event catering tailored to your needs, weddings, birthday parties, hen and stag do's, festivals and any other celebrations. Find them on Instagram, Facebook and at thepizzabox.uk.
Pepperoni is always welcome.
Pineapple on pizza?
No.
We say I'm a yes man for that. As we get a lovely panoramic view of the facilities here at the University of Nottingham. It really is a beautiful campus. And as Carl and I were walking around earlier on, the sports hall facilities, four huge double sports hall, 5 badminton courts in each sports hall. Currently, as I mentioned earlier on, a huge dodgeball, inter-university dodgeball tournament taking place at the moment. Guys and girls really enjoying that. Good to see number 73 Bingham back on his feet and walking off under his own steam, but
Another one of our NTU offensive linemen there, so good to see him on his feet, and hopefully he's okay. Looked like an upper body injury, an arm injury of some sort, so check in on him later. This offensive line really built from these two big university programs, NTU and University of Nottingham, and well drilled, doing a good job now in terms of getting that run game going. And again, you know, you look at the season, you look at the Bulls come out, been quite one-dimensional in terms of what they're able to do, and in terms of being, primarily a run team and only going to the pass when they really need to. But in terms of this Nottingham Caesars, they can do a lot of different things. They can run, they can pass, and this is the time when you want to be chewing clock in that Q3 and just keep that offense off the field.
So McGovern hands off to Baby once again, and Baby looks for room off the left-hand side of the line and finds some of it. 4-yard pickup on second down.
Keep those messages coming in on the stream. Let us know how you feel the Caesars have performed today. And the Bulls currently have won one, lost one, and drawn one. So looks today they're going to pick up another loss unless there is some serious action changes or some serious mistakes by the Caesars. But let us know in the chat how you felt about both of these teams.
Bunch formation at the top of the screen this time for Nottingham. One of those receivers comes in motion to the right, trying to give McGovern an idea about how this D is going to set up. Ball into the hands of Oluwatosin, and that's a nice pickup for a first down. And he has got a great pair of hands. I know it sounds daft, but you want receivers to catch the ball out in front of them rather than hitting the pads, and his hands are like shovels.
He's got great body control as well. You know, that ball was slightly underthrown. He had to make an adjustment and come back to it, and he's still able to keep his feet and then make some yards after the catch. So the defense from the Bulls now, they're putting additional defensive linemen in there trying to stop this run.
Baby on the handoff this time, goes outside the tackle, picks up 3 yards before he's snagged to the ground, and a late flag comes out.
Oluwatosin there looked like he might have got caught on the hold, or one of the Caesars offensive line just on the edge.
So a positive play on the ground is going to result in a negative play on the stat sheet, as Nottingham will find themselves being marched backwards after what we believe is a hold. Here's a signal from our official. There it is.
It's actually that's a big 15-yarder, so it's going to put Nottingham back close to their own territory now.
One thing at the moment that struck me is that McGovern hasn't had a lot of time in the pocket. When he's been successful through the air, he's managed to move the pocket himself and use his feet to create space in order then to deliver the pass, rather than be able to sit back and deliver from the pocket. So that's maybe something the O-line need to work on as this season goes deeper and deeper. Motion again from that bunch formation is Harvey. McGovern hands off, big hole again, and this time it's Draper, number 5, with the carry, back close to the original line of scrimmage prior to the penalty. Maybe picks up 12 yards there of the 15 they lost, which will bring up 3rd and 8.
That's Coach Draper there, UON receiver coach. Maybe give the running back some tips too, based on what he's doing today. Sorry, Carl.
Great block there as well from offensive line. I think it was the right guard, Eardley, to make a fantastic block to release that player for more. Left guard actually coming over to make the play, Eardley.
So 3rd and 8 then, Draper still in the backfield. That bunch formation to the left again for McGovern. Oluwatosin on his own to the right. He rolls round to his left hand side. Got a man in the flat. He hits that man. Looks to turn the corner, does Harvey, stays on his feet, picks up a first down and more. And all round, that play just worked. And a late flag comes in, and that may well be a hit out of bounds.
Yeah, Liam did well on that, and he was under some pressure from a defensive line from the Bulls. Managed to get the ball away, and it was Harvey that, with his quick feet, get some additional yards.
You always look at the body language of players when you're trying to figure out which way this flag's going, and Nottingham at the moment seem to be hovering as if this could be against them, as there's a Bulls player down hurt on the far sideline. Did you see anything? Jack Dukes there, the injured Bull at the moment. Wish him all the best. Do you notice anything particularly flag-wise, Carl?
Only where the position of the flag is. Maybe it's a hold coming back against one of those offensive linemen. Although if it was off the ball action.
It was a hold. It is against Nottingham. So therefore, obviously, as our eyes are taken away from that offensive line, watching McGovern roll to his left and then picking up the play of Harvey making the reception, we don't necessarily focus on those big offensive linemen. But 2 holding penalties on this drive will really frustrate the Caesars coaching staff.
And this is the thing, the more you want more and more game time. Again, this is a team which is essentially got a brand new lineup. and a lot of different players coming in, a lot of different moving parts. Takes a little bit of time for an offence to gel. But you know, they're dominating teams. They were great against Sheffield. It looks like they're going to come out with a really good win against the Bulls here today, and so you can't complain. But you want to work on those areas where you can still, where there's that little bit of gap to where you really want to be. Looks like that Bulls player is going to get up to his feet now, so that's good to see him on his feet, albeit with help getting back to the sideline. Looks like a lower leg injury to his left leg there.
So this is the last Caesars home game until Father's Day on June the 18th, when they will welcome Northants.
I think it's June 11th. June 11th against Tamworth. It's a doubleheader, I think.
Oh, it is, yes. Apologies. In June the 11th, it is Sandwell. Caesars at Sandwell with the under-19s playing Tamworth. So, yeah, so almost a month gap of Caesars football at the David Ross Sports Village. June the 11th, we'll see the Caesars take on the Sandwell Steelers.
Back at it.
Here we go then. 3rd and 12. You'd expect McGovern to go to the air, and he does. Looks right, then looks left, floats the ball over, and that's a beautiful pass. Drifted that ball over the top of the defender, hitting Niall Simpson, who picks the ball out of the air and gets tackled short of the line to gain. But you'd have thought that he'd be going for it on 4th and 2 here, Carl, just outside the 20.
Yeah, with a play like that, you can tell on 3rd down they're giving themselves the opportunity to go on 4th. They're going to go quick, 2 yards to get. Really nice pass protection for Liam. He had a lot of time to enable that play to develop and get his receiver in the position he wanted him in.
Lovely touch on that ball as well. The flight of the ball just over the top of the Bulls defender, dropping it into Simpson's arms. And here we go then, 4th and 2. Simpson in the backfield again. Bulls stacking heavy on that defensive line. Simpson looking to the right hand side. He's got a bit of a seam. There's one arm tackle that's missed, and he gets down to the 20-yard line. Does he get enough for the first down? It looks like he has. Easily. First down, Nottingham.
Simpson, the Loughborough player, was the MVP of the Div 1 win that they had in the Bucks final. And he's a running back with a lot of potential. He's big, he's strong. Proves it on there. Pushing the pile to get the first down.
20 yards from pay dirt then now. Nottingham looking to extend that lead to 4 touchdowns. Pitch to Simpson. He's got some space if he can find it, but that was good outside contained there by the Bulls edge player, number 22, I believe that was.
That was a great tackle. Simpson's not easy to bring down and played the edge really well there. Absolutely no gain.
Ahmed Mujasic on the tackle for the Bulls.
Love to see great edge play from a defence.
Yep, open field tackles like that, not easy to do. Wanting to make sure that runner doesn't give you a little shake and bake and make your face plant into the dirt with nothing in front of you, but
I think this quarter's almost over.
on that occasion, Mujicic manages to get the job done. 2nd and 10 then. McGovern fakes the pitch to the right, rolls to his left, puts the ball up, and it's, I think, intended for Harvey again. Although there was another receiver, number 88 for Nottingham, who was running on a crossing pattern. Hall kind of was in two minds whether that was intended for him or not, but left it for Harvey, and that hit the floor before Harvey could reel it in. It's a 3rd and long.
Just felt like that play there, you know, Liam just taking a couple of steps to his left, but instead he took quite a deep drop on his pass and just gave him too much to do.
So 3rd and long then, do they go to the air and look to try and pick up all 10, or, well, they don't need to, because we know at this stage they're not going to be kicking. They'll got 2 more downs to get 10 yards here. Looking to the right, and that's in and out of the hands of 2 Bulls defenders that time.
For what it's worth, Jackman couldn't kick this far. I don't think they'll do it, but he has the limit.
Alex Corbett nearly had another pick there. He was number 34 on the right player at the right time. I think he was surprised to be taking part in a tip drill at that point in the game. 4th down.
So McGovern stays on the field. Teferi in at halfback. Oluwatosin, Harvey, number 88 Hall, and I believe Harrison are the 4 receivers. Lots of space on the right hand side for Josh Oluwatosin here. Maybe now Harvey comes to join him. He's looking to the left again. 1-on-1, and that's over the top of the intended receiver, Harrison. Interested they've not targeted Oluwatosin quite as much as they did in their home opener.
You want to get the ball to different players. I think Harrison, that's the right play. Harrison is 1-on-1 against a defensive back that's shorter than he is. I think on that one the ball was just a little overthrown, so Harrison didn't get a chance to use that athletic ability to bring it down.
So the Bulls hold.
Well, turnover on downs as well. These are the things I want to see from the Caesars in terms of practicing. You know, you want to bring your kicker on at that point and get the extra point. It doesn't matter in this game necessarily, but it will matter later on when you get to the playoffs and you're putting yourself in live situations where, okay, can we kick the field goal? And 4th down, they've gone for it twice, they've got it twice, so that's good. You're putting yourself in a position where you can do that, but you want to also get your kicker out there, give him some live experience as well.
Lloyd to the air on 1st down, swing pass out to number 37.
Beautiful one-handed catch there, backside throw, and he just had to twist his body around and caught the ball with one hand.
Michael Nabugo, the receiver there, picks up a yard on 1st down. That's not going to get it done. They need to be pushing downfield, and as we've mentioned on numerous occasions so far today, they've not yet shown the ability to do that. So the Caesars defence can pretty much load the box up and don't have to send defenders too far down the field, as that may well be the end of the 3rd quarter, maybe?
Yeah, looks like it.
Indeed it is. So the end of the 3rd quarter here at the David Ross Sports Village. Nottingham Caesars 20 and the Birmingham Bulls 0. And pretty much, Carl, that 3rd quarter was a carbon copy of what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, just the one score on the board, the missed extra point, but the Bulls really struggling to get anything going on offence. That quality of that Caesars defence, front 7 especially, just making life pretty miserable for the quarterback, both in terms of the pressure and running backs in terms of rallying to make the tackles. Just feel like the Bulls are running out of ideas on offence, and the Caesars, as this game goes on, really have shown more and more domination.
Get the Caesars fixtures.
Yeah, you're quite right. Birmingham, unfortunately, a little one-dimensional. Chris Else has been the bulk of their offence. Ryan Lloyd has tried to make things happen through the air, using Guy Spencer amongst other people, who also have come in at quarterback and taken a couple of QB design runs as well. But other than that, there hasn't been a lot of productivity for the men from the West Midlands. Let's see how they start the 4th. Dropping back to passes, Lloyd on the 4th, goes down the seam, and that's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, number 80, Nicholas Blinn.
He had one over the middle that could have been the play to get him going, give him the confidence that they can go to the air. So disappointing that he couldn't pull that one in.
It'll be promising. That was tipped once again though as well, and that could have been picked by a Nottingham player. So as you look at the upcoming fixtures for the Caesars, Carl, obviously they beat Sheffield 38-0 to begin with. Then in the return fixture, ran out 8-point victors over Sheffield 22-14. Obviously they're winning this one by a score of 20-0.
Yeah, there's some interesting fixtures coming up. for the Nottingham Caesars. They've obviously got the Bulls here today. Next game for the Caesars is going to be away to Sandwell on the 21st of March.
May.
21st of May. And then they've got a return match against Sandwell on the 11th of June, and in between that they've got the Northants Knights on the 4th. So some big games coming up for the Caesars. Feel like Sheffield and Birmingham have given them the start that they needed, that additional practice that they needed to really hit this ground running. Chester drew with the Bulls, so if you're looking just purely at scorelines, you'd expect a similar team, Chester coming out as you would for the Bulls, but you never can tell. That's why we play the games, Matt, so they've got to go through the games. Sandwell not played anyone yet, so difficult to know how they're going to come out, the former Prem team.
And that is a great tackle in the backfield by a certain Mr. Will Hobbs, down from his safety position, shot through the line of scrimmage and tackled the running back for a loss of 4.
They do that well, the Caesars defence. They rotate, whether it's Mickey Fisher or whether it's Will Hobbs, they just bring them down into the box as that extra run defender. And the Bulls, you don't design your run scheme based on that additional defender being there. So you've always got that extra player, and they can bring them in late. As you can see on the screen now, Mickey Fisher's now swapped in for Will, and you can see him lining up to the bottom of your screen there on the defensive line of scrimmage. Obviously,
yes.
This is for a kick, but those are the types of things that they do. They're rotating those safeties in, getting them into the box close to that line of scrimmage.
So Hobbs goes back to to return the punt again. Equally as well, the experience of Will Hobbs to read that on third down, obviously step up into the box and make that play. Obviously Birmingham didn't have a hat on a hat there, and Will came through free. The ball's going to bounce out of bounds before he gets the opportunity to return this one. Will's trying to claim it's about on the 50-yard line. The officials are going to take 7 or 8 yards off him, and it'll be Nottingham football from their own 45, looking to extend that advantage.
Keep those comments coming. Some people commenting saying, opponent teams are going to be easy this year for the Caesars. Says Davs, thanks for that. And others of you commenting as well on the Caesars performance today. It's been an impressive opening to the season, hasn't it? Now you've got Leicester Falcons that went up into that Premiership.
Leicester Panthers,
formerly known as.
They went up as the Falcons.
They went up, yeah,
Then they changed.
sure. They went up and then they changed, But they've gone from the division. Nottingham Caesars came close to them a couple of times last year in terms of just being in that second place. Now, who are going to challenge the Caesars this season?
there is an element when you talk about the games too easy this year. Number one, you can only beat what's in front of you, and number two, are the games easy, or does a good, well-coached outfit make the games look easy, and make that opponent less of an opponent than they may be against somebody else?
The Caesars have definitely been building. They've got a really strong coaching staff, led here by new coach Vanden Warner, who's been around for now. I think he's in his 4th year now. He's really building a strong coaching staff, and what they've also done, which other teams could learn from, is they've got coaches that are reaching out to other players that they know, players from the university game, players from other teams, and attracting them to Nottingham.
And that's intercepted once again by Corbett. Great athletic work on the sideline there for his second pick of the day. As McGovern was looking again to Harrison, I believe, on this sideline, but Alex Corbett, Johnny on the spot. 2 picks, good day for him individually.
Yeah, and again, I'm questioning, talking about how great the coaching is on Nottingham Caesars, but the play calling here, you want to get that ground game going, chew the clock, be professional, come off the field. And early on in the season, when you're playing teams like the Bulls, who haven't been able to come out and really mount a threat on offense, that's okay. When you get to the playoffs, you want to be practicing, you want to be thinking as a team, I'm practicing for the playoffs, I'm practicing for the play, I'm playing for those, I'm calling plays that might come back later on, and I need to, if I need to chew clock, are we going to be able to do that? If I need to convert on 4th down, can I do that? If I need to kick, can I do that? As a coaching staff, you want to put your players in a position where you're creating those scenarios during these easier games, so that when it comes down to it, you've got the live practice and you can make it count in the playoffs.
And you've almost earned the right, with all due respect to the Bulls, when you're 20-0 ahead, start of the fourth quarter, you've almost earned the right to, like you say, to practice now, use this almost, and again, no disrespect to the Bulls, but use this almost as a scrimmage for those situations that may come later down the line. So yeah, and again, just as the players are learning, and these are a new bunch of players that are coming together, obviously the coaches, it's early in the season for them, and they'll go back and look at this film, and they'll have those conversations about, right, what can we do differently next time? This game was in the bag realistically after 14-0. The fact that the Bulls hadn't shown too much, good reception there by number 14, but he's snagged pretty much immediately as Matthew Dutton. And like you say, as the season goes through, the coaches will grow in experience as well. But yeah, rightly, you're right. And equally, you're kind of thinking, what do we need to pass at this situation? Why? The more plays that we have, the more chance of injuries we're going to have picking up. We keep the ball on the ground, we keep the clock running, we lessen the potential for an injury to somebody who we're going to need later down the line. So yeah, it's difficult, because at the end of the day, they're all ballers, they're all competitors,
and they all want game time.
Absolutely.
And we've had a comment saying about rotating those players in, and that's what the Caesars are going to want to do as this Q4 winds down. Get as many players as they can onto the field, given that they're 20 points up.
Miscommunication that time between quarterback Ryan Lloyd and his intended receiver, and Lloyd going to the corner.
If I could chime in real quick, I think you guys, as coaches, both of you could weigh in on this.
This is the voice of Sean Endicott, everyone.
If you're used to these nail-biter games that come down to the last couple of drives, then all of a sudden you're in this situation, you almost have to learn how to adjust as a coach. How do I play with the lead? How much do I want to show from my playbook that I might not want to put on film? How much do I want to rotate? Is there maybe, we saw last year with the University of Nottingham, they had a playoff game where they were up by a lot, took their starting quarterback out, and then actually put him back in because he hadn't had enough reps with the offense. So he only played half a quarter and they were up by so much. So it is different playing with a lead. That's a great punt.
Absolutely is. Yeah, great punt. That one's going to bounce, going to go sideways until it's downed at the 17-yard line. Just looking for that punter on my roster.
Beautiful punt. Two good ones today. I mean, a few, but two especially good ones.
Yeah, the punting's been excellent from the Bulls. It's been one of the highlights, and so has the 2 picks now from Alex Corbett. He's been one of the highlights on defense as well. Getting back to your comment, Sean, I think for me it's about, as a coach, you've got to imagine the scenarios that you're going to be in those tighter games. We've got 4 minutes to go and we've got to run the clock down. We've got 2 minutes to go and we need to score. We need to put our defense out, and they need to make a stand against a 2-minute drill. It's thinking about those scenarios and then calling the plays that you would want to call in the situations that you get a chance to in easier games, so that when it comes live, you've got that group experience, you know what you're going to be calling, you're doing it. So it's an opportunity here for me, for the Caesars, to chew clock and see whether we can beat a team on the ground and just get out of this game with a win without the risk.
I agree with you. That, from a coaching perspective, if you're used to having tight games, you've got to adjust your mindset into running the mindset that Carl's just been talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard. It's an experience that as a coach you're not always fortunate to have. When you have a defense dominate the day like this, offense puts a few scores on the board. I mean, I was in that situation a few weeks ago. My defense coordinator, his defense, had an excellent game. We sat there at the end, and I said, why don't we call this? And the player goes, do we want to call that? That we're playing another team next week. Do we even want them to know we have this?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you also play these teams twice. So what we're calling an easy game this week, well, yeah, I mean, obviously this went the Caesars' way, but it might not in the future. So you also don't want to do anything unsportsmanlike.
Absolutely spot on. New quarterback in after the penalty that time. There was a holding penalty against the Caesars as Teferi ran the football. He gets the call again, and this time now we've got Baldwin in, number 4 quarterback for the Caesars. So it is. And like you said about playing twice. First time out against Sheffield, Nottingham win 38-0. A week later, they eke out a 22-14 win. So yeah, it's all valuable insight and valuable thinking. There's so much more to this game than just the X's and O's.
But what that tells you is Sheffield went away, really looked at game film, came back with a game plan.
Absolutely.
And Nottingham just expected to win on that second go round.
Which is why, as we're mentioning, when you are 38-0 up or 26-0 up before you get that far, what do you show them? Who do you pull? Yeah, anyway, interesting thoughts. So second and 10 now for Baldwin. Baldwin goes to the air, swings it out to Teferi. Teferi trying to get away from the attention of number 22 that time. But Ahmed Mujicic manages to keep hold of Teferi and drag him down. So third down upcoming for the Caesars offense.
Might be the first time we see Baldwin put it through the air here for a longer pass. Obviously, the shorter that the player took for a bit. Baldwin coming up from the junior program, under 19s last year, and now gets to sit behind an experienced quarterback in McGovern and then come in situations like this.
Excellent development opportunities for these guys. So third down, ball play action, and Baldwin tries to step up, but it's that man again, number 22. We called him on the previous play. We'll call him again here, Ahmed Mujicic.
Somebody's helmet came off. Number 60's not happy. The helmet came right off.
Running a lot of this play action at Nottingham. But on that occasion, defence not biting on that at all. Quarterback goes straight down.
As does number 97 for the Bulls. Maybe suffering a little bit from cramp. Warm out there today. Dom Hill, the Bull put out to pasture.
22 came off the edge there and made the tackle on the quarterback. Birmingham Bulls edge rusher wasn't fooled at all by the play action.
Yeah, I've called his name a couple of times, Mujicic. So this one winding down then. 20-0 in favour of Nottingham. And just while we have this stoppage in play for the injury, a big thank you to our sponsors this afternoon, the Pizza Box, United Kingdom Drone Service, and UK American football scene, Britball for all. Pizza Box already established Nottingham's finest wood-fired pizza. Find them on Instagram, Facebook, and at thepizzabox.co.uk. East Midlands United Kingdom Drone Service. Contact Cameron at ukdroneservice.co.uk for all your drone surveying needs. And the UK American football scene, Britball for all, covering adult, senior, women's, youth and junior disciplines. Find them on Facebook for all your Britball requirements.
And Coach Matt, another sponsor. Anyone who'd like to reach out for next game?
Absolutely.
We have more sponsorship spots open for the stream. We can at least fit a couple more in, I think. We have a flag or a delay.
Indeed we could, and obviously it's fourth down now, so Danny John's on to punt. Dan Johnson there, number 7, just to the left of Danny John, or just to the left of the official actually.
Wilkins will be snapping this, so let's see if we get it on target this time. Remember last time went over Danny John's head.
The Bulls will be wanting to go out with a bang as well, just to give Nottingham something to think about for the return matchup in a few weeks' time.
They're bringing the house.
They are indeed. Ben Harrison in there as well, alongside Dan Johnson and Jepson. The upbacks there. Mickey Fisher out on the left-hand side. Actually, there's Mickey Fisher, number 32, out on the left-hand side there, one of the gunners.
Got a herd of zebras on the field.
Oh, let's not go with this again.
I'm just saying.
If that's reference to the stream I did with the Great Britain women's game, no. We won't even go there. I was commentating with Andrew Morgan there, and
You said you weren't going to go there.
Well,
Now you're going there.
Plays back, Matt.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just tell me what a group of sharks is called.
Get this end zone view here.
Danny John's back to punt then for Nottingham. Blimey, you two shot me down quick then. And it is a good snap this time from Wilkins, and Johns gets a good kick away. Fielded Not at all by the Bulls, and the ball bounces into Bulls territory and rolls dead. Birmingham on offense once more.
Lots of other games going on around the country. We'll try and bring you some of those before the end of this one today.
Yeah, obviously we've got a 12 o'clock kickoff here as well, so a lot of those games from around the nation, generally 2:30 kickoffs.
Say around the nations. We had some Scotland.
The nations.
Scotland's games coming up.
So here comes Ryan Lloyd and the Bulls offense once again.
Still got their starters in. Have Birmingham.
And Lloyd goes to the air, and that's up and in and out of the hands of number 7.
It's a camera change.
Sordillo on the coverage for that one.
Number 7. Second down, Birmingham. Story of this game so far then, Teferi opened the scoring in the first quarter with a 10-yard TD run, Jackman extra points. Then Elliot Harvey caught a ball for a 10-yard reception in the end zone. Jackman once again adding the extra point. McGovern threw his first pick of the afternoon to Alex Corbett, who returned it for a TD that was wiped out by a holding penalty. Into the third, and Ben Pugh goes in from 4 yards out. And Jackman this time misses the extra point as Chris Else barrels his way for a pickup of 5 on second down.
That's some tough running from Else there. He's played well. He's been all they've got, to be honest. And he's still balling out there. And he's getting battered by this Nottingham Caesars defence. Some of those Caesars defend backups now in, and one of them it looks like it's gone down. So the medics are going to have to come on here and take a look.
Yeah, it's calling for the medics. Can't quite see who that is at the moment. May well be 77 for Nottingham. Demetriou.
It might be 97 as well, hard to say. Oh no, you're right, 77.
So Carl, if you're the Birmingham Bulls, what do you take from this game? What's next on the books at practice?
I think you've got to try and they're going with the athletes that they've got. They know they don't have a pure passing quarterback, so you build your playbook around what you have, and what they have is they've got some tenacious running, and they've got an offensive line that can move people off the ball, but they've just not been able to bully this front 7 of the Nottingham Caesars in the way they want to. So it's back to running those drills, and if you are going to stay with that running attack, maybe looking at that wishbone that you've got there and really looking at the mechanics of that and tightening up on the blocking sequences that you've got, really looking to get as much game time as you can and practice time as you can to refine the system that you've got. I mean, that's the choice that the Bulls have got in front of them on offense. On defense, they played well in parts. This is an explosive Nottingham Caesars defense. To hold them to 20 points, 3 scores, that's a decent outing against this Nottingham Caesars side. I used to have a conversation with my offensive coordinator where I'd say, if he'd say to me, look, we will get 3 scores. If you can hold them to 2 or 3, we'll get the win. The trouble is the offense just aren't showing up for the Bulls at the moment, and so that's where they need to really put the focus and the practice time in.
And again, from a Nottingham point of view, at the beginning of the game, you say, win this game 20-0. They'd probably take that, but at the same time, it's been an inconsistent. You mentioned the word inconsistent earlier on, and the fact that they're going to need to be consistent moving up and onwards if they want to get into the Prem and sustain in the Prem. So it just feels a bit of a flat 20-0 victory.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of the consistency, and we've seen this from Nottingham a number of times over the years, where you feel like Nottingham are a real hub of football. You got Loughborough, you got University of Nottingham, you got Nottingham Trent University, you've got a lot of other teams around in the East Midlands.
Derby lads,
the Derby University of Derby. You've always felt like over the years Nottingham were underachievers in terms of what they could be, and that they should be at that Premiership level and they should be competing because the infrastructure is all there. So you're beginning to see now that coming together. But you want Nottingham Caesars to be that really strong team that's dominant in the middle of the country. But they are going to need to work on things like getting complacent, things like making sure and they're consistent throughout.
Absolutely, and
This looks like a
worrying signs. Obviously, just precautionary, and they have to make sure that they're taking every precaution with any injury. As this, the good thing, obviously, from our pictures is that legs have been moving, extremities have been moving, as have arms as well. So
it's Dimitriou,
it is
77 that's down, and we're sending him all our love and all the best. So hopefully he's going to be okay. Medics are with him.
What other fixtures have we got coming up, just in generally this afternoon, Carl, in terms of Britball?
Well, you've got a couple of quick Prem fixtures that are taking place today. London Blitz are playing the Bristol Aztecs down in the south. That'll be an interesting account, and to see which one of those two is going to come up and be that team to really threaten the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors every year being dominant in that south division. So it'll be interesting to see what that score is.
Do you see anybody? I mean, obviously, the Britball final. Britball last year, Manchester. Well, I'm going to be fair. Manchester shocking the Warriors, you know, and the manner in which they took that title. Do you see those two teams being the class of the North and the South and competing for another title this year?
No, the Warriors will want to come back, and you know they weren't happy with that defeat. There was a lot of some changes that went in within the London Warriors in terms of bringing in new players, and. You know, Tony Allen is going to want to come back and show that he can compete with the Manchester Titans. Titans are really dominant in the north now. Tamworth, the loss of Jason Scott, you know, stepping down as head coach there, and Tamworth seem to have lost a step. Certainly not as competitive as they were last year against the Manchester Titans in that opening game. So the Titans looking like they're going to take control of that North Division. And then you've got East Kilbride Pirates and the Edinburgh Wolves, who battled out last week, and the Wolves came out victorious in that, so they look like the cream of the crop in terms of the Scots. But in the south, you'd expect the London Warriors and the Aztecs to be there. The question's always been, is the Warriors got that teams that really can compete with them in the regular season? So it's similar to the conversation we've been having about the Caesars. When you get into that post season play, you know, you need to have teams that have put you to the sword, that have made things difficult, that have challenged you, in order for you to really have that competitive fighting spirit and that character that you need in the playoffs to get through those really tough games.
We'll take this opportunity as well, as Dimitri is receiving some fantastic medical care just off camera. Throw it over to Sean. Obviously, Sean, head coach of the under-19s for the Nottingham Caesars. What's the under-19 landscape this season in terms of your outlook, but also from a national level?
Yeah, I'd say the under-19, our division is quite competitive. We've had more games than our season was a bit front-loaded, so our third game is today. Tamworth just had their first game yesterday, so it's a bit hard to judge everything, but what we can tell is the Midlands is going to be competitive. We had a really close match against Sheffield last game. It ended up 12-0. It was close for a lot of the game. And then Sheffield went out and beat Tamworth yesterday, 12-6, I believe. Or maybe 14-6, actually, I think. And then Tamworth was obviously in the national final last year. So you know that they're going to have talent and good coaching. And that's a good sign for Sheffield from their perspective. Up north, I want to say Chorley's up top in the division, which is interesting to see. That division is really turned over, and from what I've seen, the Buccaneers have done a really nice job. Down south, there were originally two divisions, but due to some last-minute changes, it's actually now one really big division, but the top two teams from the south both will make the playoffs.
Okay.
And so from the south, you can almost always expect the Blitz to be in there, reigning national champs, obviously.
Yeah.
They're going to compete. But there's a lot of talent down there, and there were teams last year that missed the playoffs that were really good. And now that they're in this one big division, it might come down to who has to play who twice. You might play, let's say you play the Blitz twice and then your rival only plays them once. You might lose a game because the Blitz might go undefeated. We've seen that before in under-19s. Because of the number of teams, you can have an unbalanced schedule. You can end up playing, like we only played Tamworth, I think, once last year, and other teams played them twice, and that really can change things.
as well, you think that they're both the same sports, but obviously at the moment the under-19s is 9-man football as opposed to the 11. Obviously at this level, senior, you can try and build something because the age is 19 to whatever. Yeah. You guys, you don't know what you're going to get from year to year.
And you see that. It's quick overturn. I mean, the Caesars about 5 or 6 years ago went undefeated in the regular season. Then we had some hard times. We had a winless season, and then now back up again. We're at minimum going to be 3-0 this year. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen in the second half of the season, and we've seen similar stuff. Manchester Titans, they sparked up, and then maybe a year or two off, and then they can come back up, and we've seen that because, as you said, players age out, and it's not always who has the best under 16 program either, because sometimes your under 16s. Maybe they get a year or two with the under-19 program, but then go to university or they move. And so it's kind of, we have players come in, I played youth for 3 years. And I think, well, that's great, obviously helps us. But from the perspective of the club they're coming from, maybe they had a really solid under-16 team, and then one of their star players moved for university, got a different job. And it can be really hard to build that program. It comes down a little bit to coaching, being a little bit more recruitment. But then I would always venture to say it comes down a little bit as luck.
Yeah.
We've had years where 3 or 4 players move into the area or 3 or 4 players move out.
That's right.
And you see that all the time throughout the division. But it's a good place to be right now. Under-19 football, the top of the league, very strong. You watched that Blitz Tamworth final last year. Excellent showcase of the Under-19 9-a-side game. And the Blitz are definitely favorites this year. I'll say that, certainly coming out the south. I think they feel very comfortable with where they are. Then we had good news on the field. Transition.
So Demetrio, as you just see there as the shot pans out, he's being carried off by his teammates. As I mentioned, signs were relatively good from what we saw, and we wish him all the very best. So the senior game's in a good spot at the moment. We feel, obviously, the under-19s, as Sean mentioned, looks to be in a pretty good spot. Obviously, then we've got the women's game. Not so long ago, Great Britain women dominated Sweden in their first game in the new format that is the European Championships. They play Germany later this month out in Germany, and big things on the horizon, hopefully, for the number 2 ranked team in the world in the Great Britain Lions women's team. Always exciting to watch, Carl. Obviously, the Bucks goes from strength to strength as well. It just seems to get bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, we had a great final again, return final against University of Nottingham and the UWE Bullets, and that was another fantastic game with some of those scholars really showcasing their talents, as well as British players and European players. So the game, as you say, on the up and up, a number of different levels, and lots of flag tournaments going on up and down the country as well. So lots of stuff going on.
Just a producer's note. The last word I heard was 8.
You don't have to say producer's note.
No,
you can just say it's. You could just speak.
Just talk, Sean.
I'm interrupting, but
no, just talk.
Just a commentator's note.
8:29 was left in the game when the delay stopped for the injury. Obviously, with the great medical care making sure he's okay, the game's going to run a bit long. But obviously, it's more important to take your time with someone's health.
We kind of see this like Monday Night Football now with 3 commentators. That's
Get me in the booger mobile.
There you go.
I want a remote control. I want one joystick that controls the cameras and one that controls me on the sideline.
Don't liken yourself to Boga. Seriously.
We're all in it together.
Now here's a game. That's a game. If you score points, you score points.
But yes, obviously as well, speaking of Monday Night Football, NFL International Series schedule and opponents have been set this week. I'm disappointed because the Niners aren't coming. Carl's disappointed because the Bears aren't coming. Who are you a fan of?
Commanders and then the Packers, because my parents live in Wisconsin.
You can't have two.
Can't have two.
That's the main one's the Commanders. I admit that, but my parents do live in Wisconsin,
okay.
So
Well, fair enough. So okay.
But I will say that I don't think either of them are traveling
They're
this
not.
year. But great news for the Commanders. But we don't need to get into all that. But the team's been sold, so there we go. Germany got 2 games this year.
Germany have got 2 games. I think they've got the Dolphins and the Chiefs as one, I believe, if memory serves correct. Jacksonville here in London for 2 games back to back.
In a row.
Yeah.
Good luck getting tickets, folks. Hard to get tickets to those games.
Absolutely. Here we go then. Back to the action on the field. The Bulls with quarterback Ryan Lloyd still. He's dropping back to pass again. He flings the ball out to his right-hand side, and the reception is made close to midfield by number 7. Unfortunately, I don't have a name for number 7 on the roster that I managed to acquire at half-time. But he's becoming a little bit more of a focal point in this final period. Picks up a first down for Birmingham, and they find themselves in Bulls territory.
Got a comment coming in on the live stream that Birmingham have another quarterback as well that wasn't able to play today.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting in the return match to see what a difference. And this is what I was saying. You know, the Birmingham Bulls offense, it has looked quite one-dimensional, although they do make a completion there, which will build their confidence. With a different player set in there, you can open up the playbook. So it may be that the return match against Nottingham is going to be a very different affair.
Double move there on the outside, which really did work effectively, but unfortunately Lloyd just overthrew his receiver. Otherwise that was 6, but a beautiful move on the outside there by that receiver. I'll see if I can get a number for you and then give him some props, because it really was a good pattern he ran out there. Number 19 for Birmingham.
Shout out to Jamie White and my old friend Nathan Cotterill. We'll give you a proper shout out now. XNTU now with the Bulls. Saying Ricardo Beckley, number 7, is the Bulls' normal starting quarterback, and he will be making a return in later games. So it may be a very different game next time round.
Ball then, this time in the arms of Else, and Else shrugs off one Caesar and then barrels into 3 more until Will Hobbs ends up on top of him, short of a first down. That will bring up 4th down, I believe. I believe the receiver who made that nice double move was Joe Parsons. So showing a little bit of life now, Birmingham on this drive.
Yeah, backups. Well, they're rotating some backups in on defence as well to give other players a chance, and maybe that's opening some lanes and some opportunities for the Bulls as well. Wilkins still in there, 22, anchoring that defence.
Alongside Wang, number 59, run again to Else. He does pick up a first down on that run, and Hobbs up from his safety position again to put another assisted tackle on his stat sheet.
Hobbs does that well, doesn't he? You can see the whole of the field, he's quick to react to the ball. Still got that ability to pursue players from that safety position.
Using all of his experience out there. First down Birmingham though, 33-yard line of the Caesars.
Now, Coach Carl, you're going to recognize number 68 on the field right now. That's Big James Simpson, except he's lost about 100+ pounds since he played for NTU. He's looking really fit. He's still 6'8" though, so he's a big gentleman.
And he's got a Tamworth helmet on.
He does, but I won't mention that.
So just adding to my niggle from the conversation I had in the first half. Lloyd going up top. He's got a man, but that is in and out of the hands of Mr. Will Hobbs. Oh dear, Will. We'll have a chat about that later on. But you could see how upset he was with himself. Did everything right. Read the play correctly. Got over to where the ball was. Lloyd underthrew that time. And Hobbs just couldn't reel it in.
Will be massively disappointed at that one, won't he? Well, Matt's enjoying it up here in the booth.
I just know the conversation we're going to have later on tonight.
Those are the things you want to tighten up on, though, right?
Yeah, keep him on the bench.
We'll get some clarity on the Bulls next play.
Fisher wouldn't have dropped that. Anyway, here we go. Hardwick wouldn't have done. Shout out to Rob Hardwick. I know you're watching on the stream. Ball in Chris Elsa's hands again. And he tiptoes his way through for a pickup of 8. Good work again by Chris Els.
Man, I don't think Els tiptoes anywhere. I think he's got power emanating through his feet.
Els did good there. It was Wilkins that set the edge. And Els did well just to dance out of the tackle.
I must say as well, while I mentioned Rob Hardwick on that previous play, there was a game against the Birmingham Bulls, a really infamous Nottingham Caesars game against the Birmingham Bulls, where Rob Hardwick took one back right at the end of the game.
Last play of the game.
To win it for Nottingham.
He hasn't stopped talking about it since.
Yeah.
Well, it came up as a memory, I think, on his Facebook feed.
Probably in the comments right now.
Yeah. Came up as a memory on his Facebook feed, and he obviously said why would I not share it when it comes up every year? But it wasn't. It was
I'm sure the Bulls appreciate him sharing it every bloody year.
but
Yeah.
an incredible player, and Rob, an incredible servant to the Nottingham Caesars. Loyal, hard-working,
And a good electrician.
and a very good electrician. A bit of a broken play here this time, and then on the option, the ball is
Go
pitched
back.
out on the option, and it's now on the deck. And I think Els has just managed to get back on that one, and I'm not sure whether that was a designed triple option, but however it was designed, it didn't work out as intended.
Sorry, folks. I was watching the from the end zone camera because it was a run play.
So just to clear up the mess with the Birmingham Bulls quarterback, so it's evidently Callum Harris will be the quarterback for the Birmingham Bulls. He's their starting
Yeah.
quarterback, and
Ricardo
Ricardo Beckley is number 7. He'll be returning as a receiver. Those are two key players that are not playing today, which might explain why the Bulls have struggled a bit on offense.
I think Ricardo is playing. I think that's
Oh,
so. Ricardo is
he's
the
on,
guy.
but he's got no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah, Ricardo is the guy who's come to a bit of the fore in this fourth quarter. He's had a couple of receptions. So Beckley on the field, number 7. And like you say, Callum Harris is the quarterback the Bulls will hope to have back for the return fixture. On we go then. Lloyd to the air again. And now he's having to step up because the pressure's coming. And he steps up and into the arms of Robertson.
He's played well, that defensive line position, Robertson. Whenever he's been tested, he's putting pressure on the quarterback. He's bringing them down, and that one
Turnover on downs, Cole.
turns the ball over on downs, exactly, following that tackle from Robertson. Good defense.
Well, you can't knock them. They've tried to open that playbook up on the most recent drive there. Gone to the air as often as they could. But unfortunately, like we said,
You got some that.
plug socket for goal.
There's many on my side.
There's one down there. So here we go then. Baldwin back in at quarterback. Ball handed off to Baby. Baby goes to the right-hand side of the line, still battling his way to pick up extra yardage.
I'll take over for you here, Matt, while you're looking for a plug socket. Oh, he's too fast. Doesn't want me on the comms.
You want to plug it in?
Should be coming into the second half here. For those looking for an under-19 game, it's going to be a scrimmage between us and Birmingham today. So Caesars will get the win, and then we're going to have an organized scrimmage. So you won't see us on social media because closed scrimmage, we don't share footage.
So second down then for Nottingham. Baldwin pointing out that Mike linebacker. Baby in the backfield, and he gets the handoff once again up the middle. That's a good tackle, number 30 for Birmingham.
Coming in off the edge on the blitz to slow that run game down, and if you've got the speed, it's a great play to make, catching that running back from behind.
Patrick Kadua, the bull.
78, just a bit slow to get up, but I think he's okay.
So third down then for Baldwin and the Caesars offense. A long 4 yards needed as time continues to run in this NFC1 South clash. Baby and Pugh in the backfield this time for Baldwin. And he hands the ball off to Pugh, and Pugh tries to find a little bit of a seam between the centre and the guard, but there's not a great deal there at all. They'll pick up 1 yard, and that's about it. Now do Nottingham punt here? It looks like the answer to that is yes.
Yeah, you're in your own half. You've got field that you can kick into. The only thing, you think as a coach, all right, well, do I want to try a little fake? There's low risk. Do I want to fake it just to see what that's going to be like in live football? You always got to be thinking about, is this an opportunity to try something here as a coach? Timeout Birmingham, they're going to maybe have a think about retaining some clock, want to get a score on the board of their own.
Yeah, that'll be the most disappointing thing here for the Bulls, the fact they've not been able to get that donut off the board, or bagel even, donut bagel.
Well, they had someone in the end zone who was a defensive player, wasn't it? Number 34, Alex Corbett. He got into the end zone with those great feet, but their offense just haven't been anywhere close, let's be honest.
Donut. That's what, like my under 19 team, if they record a shutout, the defense gets a donut.
It's not a duck.
Donut stickers on their helmet.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's better to have a donut than a duck on your helmet.
Well, I suppose so.
Particularly, yeah, we're not the Derby Ducks. That's the flag team to the west of here.
Donuts aren't quite as healthy as bagels, though, are they?
That's fair.
Anyway, Danny Johns back to punt, gets the ball off. Got lots of time there. And it's a short kick. It's tipped by one of the Caesars.
I think Wilkins got his hand on it for a second there. Not quite sure why. But it is going to be a Bulls ball.
So, 23-yard line going out for Birmingham, as this one begins to wind down. 2 shutouts for this Nottingham defence from the first 3 games will please the defensive coordinator, but equally I understand that there will be much sterner tasks to come.
Yeah, Mike has done a great job as DC at the Nottingham Caesars. Used to play defensive back, then transitioned into coaching, and he does a really nice job. One of the things Mike does so well is use the experience of other coaches as well. They've got a run game defensive coach here, they've got a pass game defensive coach, different people with different responsibilities, but he brings them together as a unit, and defense looked good early in the season.
New formation.
Yeah, new formation, new rotation for the Caesars as well. Salmon and Detlaf with the linebackers. In and out of the hands of the receiver again.
So you got to feel that this is a sort of spread formation, single back with two receivers top, 2 bottom that they'll use when Callum Harris is actually in at quarterback. So what you're seeing today from the Bulls is likely the offense that they have to go to when they don't have that threat of the passer.
Brian in at free safety now as well, in relief of Hobbs and Fisher. So changes all across the board for Nottingham. Sordillo, cornerback, to the bottom of your screen. All valuable game experience for these burgundy and gold players. Ball handed off once again to Els, who's got room around the edge. He's going to test that new secondary. And he's got room, and he's through into the secondary. And he's got a gallop down the sideline. That's a good tackle by that man I mentioned earlier on. In fact, it's Johnson, number 49, who drags Els down. But he saw a gap, and he went through it, and almost found pay dirt.
He deserved that, did Els. He's been threatening to break one, and he's been running really tough between the tackles. So when he saw a little bit of daylight for him break, he took full advantage of it. So there's a sort of mini reward for him. He must be over 100 yards now rushing with that big run. So well done to him.
Indeed, and when you have a secondary and a relatively inexperienced secondary running against a back like Chris Els, who's obviously got experience but also been playing this entire game. He's heads in the game full stop and going to the air again, and that is overthrown this time.
Some afters with the O-line there.
Intended receiver that time, number 19, Joe Parsons.
Jamali just mixing it up with the Bulls offensive lineman, number 55. But no flags, so it will remain second down after the incompletion.
How desperate will Nottingham be to keep that scoreboard with a big 0 on it?
Yeah, I mean it's good for a defense. You want to see a 0 on the board, and it feels good whenever you get that. But equally, Bulls are going to be trying to get in here. Spread offense again, single back, pistol.
Ball out and over the head again of number 14 this time, Matthew Dutton.
Just haven't been accurate with some of these passes today, but you can see that they have the playbook, and maybe they have the receivers as well. If they can just get that missing piece, their starting quarterback back in there, they're going to come back, play the Caesars a lot harder next time. And it's these sorts of plays that the Caesars actually will want to scout for the next game, because this is the formation that you're going to see from the Bulls. You're going to see that pistol, wide set, and you'll be able to scout. At least you can see some of the patterns that the receivers are running and some of the stuff they're trying to do.
I was going to make that exact point. As much as Nottingham don't want to
It's
show
too late,
too
I
much,
made it.
Okay. As much as Nottingham don't want to show too much, that's what Birmingham are doing here, and for what purpose? Just to get on the board, to give themselves some confidence. Else again looking to penetrate. Flag on the field. 2 flags down now.
Salmon coming over to make the saving tackle. Looks like, well, let's see whether it was a tackle up top or a hold.
Birmingham seem to be marching backwards. I think that's going to go against the men in black and white. Beautiful afternoon here in Nottingham.
It's good to be back with you, Matt.
Really enjoying the sunshine.
Me too, mate.
No, it is.
I'm just trying to protect you from getting burned on the top of your head there.
I know he's talking to you then.
Although,
No, I don't have any room to talk.
there's no thinning going on there at all, Carl. I hate you.
I got
Thanks,
room to
Matt.
talk.
Look, you both of you have held on to your hair longer than I did. So here's the call from the official. Oh no, a little bit more discussion.
I gotta say, folks, I never understood these conference. Did it happen or not? Just make a call.
But then,
Well, something happened. They're trying to work that
Yeah,
out.
well then say it.
one against Nottingham. So automatic first down then after the penalty against Nottingham.
So maybe a face mask or a high tackle coming in. Did look a little high, although I think I didn't see any face mask.
No. First and goal now then. The deepest Birmingham have been all afternoon. First and goal from the 8-yard line. And you'd think they're going to use the power of Chris Else to get those final 8 yards to try and get themselves on the board.
Now this is really where you want your defense to step up. Maybe some backup players in there, but you want them to be able to show they can make something happen here and make the stop.
No, going to the air on first down. He's got a man wide open and one hops it to him. There's some confusion there. Mickey Fisher in the vicinity. There's definitely a confusion in coverage, which meant that Ryan Lloyd had a wide open receiver and just missed him.
Just to play out of the backfield, and he did have an opportunity there, just underthrow the ball. Again, these are the types of things that Nottingham are going to want to tighten up on. Mike will be the defensive coordinator looking at the footage afterwards and looking at how we can tighten up on some of these coverages.
Second and goal. You've got to think Else is going to get a shot, at least one, if not two, in this goal-to-go situation. And here he is then on that handoff, going wide. He's got the edge. One Caesar misses, two Caesars miss, and he hangs the ball out over the goal line for a Birmingham touchdown.
It's a flag.
There is a flag.
Looks like it's a hold.
Henry Scanlon, number 93, signals the call to his bench. I think this one may well be coming back.
Well, fair play to the Bulls. They find a way to get in the end zone. It looks like it is going to come back. But they got in, they can get in again. It's going to be a little bit more tricky because they can't rely just on that running game. They're going to have to, get more yards with the 10-yard penalty. Real shame there for Birmingham.
You can argue that, okay, if the flags hadn't been there, they wouldn't have been in the end zone, but they've now been in the end zone twice and had it called back. And obviously the difference, that would have been a 20-14 game. But again, maybe that's why they are in the end zone.
And so while the score's going to look dominant, if you're Nottingham Caesars, coaching staff, you can't be complacent.
No, not at all.
So let's see whether the Bulls can get in here from their 19 now.
Second and goal from the 19. I said that Else would have an opportunity. There was the opportunity. Still don't think he's done on this drive. Motion again from left to right. Going to the air again. Over the middle. He's got a man. That's a nice catch. Down to the 6-yard line.
Ryan Lloyd did really well against the blitz. They send 6 to the Caesars and he gets the ball away. And it's going to bring up 3rd and goal. So a really nice play by the Bulls as they stop the clock.
Joseph Blythe with the reception there, and Ryan Lloyd threaded that one beautifully on that slant.
Very little time left on the clock. The Bulls have been in once. Can they get in again, or will the Nottingham Caesars keep a clean sheet?
Wilkins coming back in now. They're bringing a little bit of their experience back in. Mickey Fisher at safety. So you can see how important it is to Nottingham that they keep the Bulls out of the end zone.
We've got a man in every gap here.
Yes, they do indeed, Sean. Man to man on the outside. Matched up a hat on a hat is what the Bulls will be hoping.
Just keep an eye on number 19 in motion, and they like to run away from him, which is what they've done again.
Oh, it's good defense. There was a hole momentarily, but then that closed very, very quickly. Wilkins et al. And here it is then, 4th and goal.
So it's the same sequence of plays again, and probably now motion again to 19, but then they'll try and throw to the other side.
Scanlon, brilliant. Scanlon forces Chris Else to cut back inside, doesn't give him the edge. And as Scanlon forces him to cut inside, there are a raft of Caesars there to save the day and to save the shutout. And indeed, that is the last play of the game. The Caesars run out victors here by a score of 20-0. And for everything we've said, that dominant scoreline doesn't necessarily tell the full picture. And it'll be a very interesting return match when Birmingham welcome Nottingham over the next couple of months.
Yeah, I think Birmingham just ran out of time to get the play call in that they wanted, just had to go to the run game, and Nottingham's defence, who played well today, don't get me wrong, really made a nice stop to seal that victory and get the shutout. But I feel like you, Matt, the score line of 20-0 flatters the Caesars a little bit. You feel like that missing piece comes in from Birmingham, that they'll give them a much tougher return game when they have to play away later on in this season. So stuff to build on there for the Bulls.
So very quickly then, before we leave you, just to run through how those 20 points came to be. Scoring was opened in the first quarter by Teferi, 10-yard jaunt into the end zone. Jackerman added the extra point. Elliot Harvey then doubled the Caesars lead in the second quarter with a 10-yard touchdown reception from McGovern, and again Jackerman was successful on the conversion. We thought Nottingham would add to that lead. The Alex Corbett first of 2 interceptions, he took that back into the end zone, but that was wiped out the first time the Bulls were in the end zone, wiped out due to an illegal block penalty. And then the Bulls suffered a turnover on downs after that, with Mickey Fisher batting the 4th down attempted pass down in the end zone. Third quarter action then. Ben Pugh runs in from 4 yards out to add to the Caesars lead. Extra point no good this time. And then the Caesars had an opportunity to extend their lead, but they themselves faced a turnover on downs. 4 consecutive passes resulting in an incompletion to Harrison on 4th down. On the next possession then, Caesars looking to go in again, but Alex Corbett registers his second pick of the day, snuffing out any hope of that. And then, as you've just seen, no score in the 4th quarter as the Bulls asserted a little bit of dominance on the ground, with Chris Else and Ryan Lloyd going to the skies, finding Ricardo Beckley on a couple of receptions. But then ultimately it came to nothing, as on the final play of the game, turnover on downs twice for the Bulls after Else thought he'd broken the duck, only to be brought back by a penalty. And that gives us our final here from the David Ross Sports Village. Nottingham Caesars go to 3-0 with a 20-0 victory against the 1-2-1 Bulls. We look forward to the return match later in the year. Big thanks as ever to Mr. Sean Endicott for producing and managing to make what has been an incredible stream. To be fair, Sean, based on our first outing, that will just get better and better. As ever to my partner in crime, Mr. Carl Walkinshaw, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Matt. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you later on in the season. It's been great to have you with us and all the comments coming in. We hope you've enjoyed the stream.
So we will see you back here on Sunday the 11th of June when the Nottingham Caesars welcome the Sandwell Steelers to the David Ross Sports Village. But for now, as we see the Caesars and the Bulls exchange pleasantries at the halfway line,